psychologists in Indiana schools. There's pressure to succeed for QB Anthony Richardson, says Indianapolis Colts head coach Shane Steichen.
And we all got his back. I mean, that's the deal, right? There's going to be highs, there's going to be lows, but we're expecting a lot more highs for sure because of his ability, and we're behind him 110%.
Regular season begins September 8th. Rain is expected by Saturday morning. Ryan Hedrick breaks down the forecast.
This means you'll see cooler temperatures Saturday afternoon, which will make it feel like fall in some areas.
Yeah, we look great. We're expecting a high temperature of 77 for the Indianapolis area. You get closer to northern Indiana, it may struggle to get out of the low 70s. With dew points in the 50s, going to feel pretty good.
Andrew White from the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says some of those storms will bring really strong winds. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
WIBC News Time 3:04.
It's happening. Indiana is investing in our hometowns. Statewide, each region selected the local projects most important to our quality of life. And with the help of Indiana Ready grants, real progress is all around us. A $3 million Ready grant is helping build our new Shelby County Early Learning Center. By early December, local toddlers will have access to high-quality care and education. A $250,000 Ready grant for a new Decatur County ADA Accessible Inclusion Park will allow all our children to play and grow and thrive. It took bold thinking and working together to put Ready into action. And there's more to come. Learn more at IndianaReady.com. That's IndianaReadi.com. Brought to you by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. ForTheBold.com.
With traffic on the fives at 3:05, good afternoon, Matt Baer.
Good afternoon, Donnie. Looking at eastbound 70 at Meridian, Illinois. Crash blocking two left lanes, stopping traffic past Belmont. That is a 22-minute delay already. Looking at southbound 65, stop and go traffic from 21st to Meridian Penn. This is westbound 74 heading to Brownsburg, where we have a vehicle fire blocking the right lane between 465 and Raceway. Stop and go traffic in there. And then eastbound 465 on the northeast side slows from Keystone to Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by True Green. If you want a great looking lawn next spring, now is the perfect time to get started. And nobody makes it easier than True Green. Get 50% off one application with an annual plan. Visit truegreen.com today. Restrictions apply. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Don't watch it, pervert! You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel.
And now the forecast, brought to you by the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Sunny, hot, and humid for the day today. We'll see highs right around 94, but feels like temperatures into the upper 90s near the triple digits. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
The Hammer and Nigel show up next. I'm Donnie Burgess on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
Oh, we're already having fun, aren't we? You gotta love it. Anything can happen on a beer sample Friday. My name is Jason Hammer. Guy Relford, the gun guy, is filling in for Big Nige today. And Guy, last night, I think for most people, their viewing options came down to a couple of different choices. You could watch college football, right, which had meaningful games on a lot of different channels. I may or may not have had action on one of them.
Yep.
Or you could watch Kamala Harris sit down with Dana Bash in a pre-taped interview on CNN with Tim Walz. Where did your eyes go?
Well, I hate to admit it, but knowing I was doing the show today, I actually jumped over and watched all 18 minutes of that, very tense, challenging, edge-of-your-seat interview by Dana Bash of CNN with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. And when I tuned in and my wife kind of gave me the eye when I said, "Hey, we need to watch this," and she kind of looked at me like, "Really?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm doing."
I've never loved your wife more.
Yeah,
by the way, than that story right there. Yeah. Really?
Yeah. And I said, "Hey, I'm doing Hammer and Nigel tomorrow, and I want to have something halfway intelligent to say." And so we jumped over there, and well, let me ask you, did you watch any of it?
Listen, I'm honest with this audience. We do a lot of crap so they don't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
So I watched football last night, but I DVR'd the conversation.
See, that's all right. Technology lets you have it both ways.
Right. So I got up this morning because I stayed up late watching that Minnesota-North Carolina game, which gave me a push as a bettor. There's nothing worse than staying up until 12:24 in the morning and you didn't win, you didn't lose. You should have just went to bed about 2 to 3 hours ago.
No, staying up and losing is worse.
Touche. But I got up this morning, took my youngest to school, got a quick workout in, came home, and I dedicated about an hour to an hour and a half to watch this, to take notes. It was 18 minutes, guy.
Right.
And we said earlier, this was pre-recorded.
Yeah.
So this tells you there was a lot of crap in this interview that the editors at CNN said, we'd prefer not to have that out there.
And you told me when you walked in the studio that they filmed for over an hour.
Yes.
And they only wanted to show the public 18 minutes. What's that tell you?
And it wasn't Kamala by herself.
Oh, no.
It was Kamala and old balls Tim Walz, and 18 minutes is all they could get.
Yeah, what'd you think of the visual, by the way? Because the first thing I thought, and I go back, look, I'm an old guy, and I remember all the way back to like the Nixon-Kennedy debates where they would have all this fight over, these fights over lighting and, and table height and chair height and, and all this peripheral stuff because they were so concerned about image. And I think those debates back in the day, in the late 60s, actually, shaped how we see television today among political candidates. But what was really interesting is when we first went to that image with them sitting there in the studio, you had Kamala, who was in the middle, but she's the farthest from the camera, and she's like half the size of Tim Walz. He's closer to the camera. He's sitting upright in his chair. Kamala's kind of slouched down in her chair. It looked like a 10-year-old kid with her dad.
You're right.
The image was just the complete opposite. If I'm your campaign manager and I'm trying to get Kamala Harris elected as president of the United States, do I want her looking half the size, looking like a little kid next to her vice presidential candidate? That was just a huge failing.
So for those of you who decided to do the right thing and not watch that last night, Guy and I have got some highlights for you. Again, it was only 18 minutes, so this is the best we could find of that. Kamala Harris saying she has no regrets about covering up Joe Biden's cognitive decline.
Vice President Harris, you were a very staunch defender of President Biden's capacity to serve another 4 years. Right after the debate, you insisted that President Biden is extraordinarily strong. Given where we are now, do you have any regrets about what you told the American people?
No, not at all. Not at all. I have served with President Biden for almost 4 years now, and I'll tell you, it's one of the greatest honors of my career, truly. He cares so deeply about the American people. He is so smart and loyal to the American people. And I have spent hours upon hours with him, be it in the Oval Office or the Situation Room. He has the intelligence, the commitment, and the judgment and disposition that I think the American people rightly deserve in their president.
So that's fancy talk for no.
Yeah, right.
No.
Yes.
I'm happy that I lied to you. No is the answer. And that part about being loyal kind of makes me wonder because, correct me if I'm wrong, Joe Biden and his family made an awful lot of money, Guy, off of him being in the role of vice president when Barack Obama was in charge.
No, you could not possibly be more right. And so much of that, I have what I call my BS-o-meter, just where, just all of a sudden I see this whole Geiger counter in my head. And when I start hearing BS, it just starts pegging over, in the full direction. And man, that went off so hard during that discussion, because first of all, when she talked about this poignant moment where she's hanging out in her kitchen with her nieces and the phone rang and it was Joe Biden to tell her that he wasn't going to continue in the race. My BSO meter pegged at that moment. I said, you know what? Joe Biden didn't tell anybody he wasn't running anymore. People told him he wasn't running anymore.
He was voluntold to leave the race.
He was told to leave the You know that, and I know that. And Barack Obama was probably involved. The Clintons were probably,
the senators.
The senators were involved. We saw that avalanche starting to develop early on. And he said, he had this thoughtful moment where he called me. That, along with I'm totally confident in his abilities, despite what we all saw on national television.
Right.
You talk about gaslighting. Come on, man. We all saw it.
Kamala Harris kind of did a victory lap in this interview when asked about the record number of illegal border crossings.
Oh, yeah.
During the Biden-Harris administration, there were record numbers of illegal border crossings. Why did the Biden-Harris administration wait 3.5 years to implement sweeping asylum restrictions?
Well, first of all, the root causes work that I did as vice president, that I was asked to do by the president, has actually resulted in a number of benefits, including historic investments by American businesses in that region. The number of immigrants coming from that region has actually reduced since we began that work. But I will say this, that Joe Biden and I and our administration worked with members of the United States Congress on an immigration issue that is very significant to the American people and to our security, which is the border. And through bipartisan work, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress, a bill was crafted, which we supported, which I support. And Donald Trump got word of this bill that would have contributed to securing our border, and because he believes that it would not have helped him politically, he told his folks in Congress, don't put it forward. He killed the bill.
So again, a victory lap on what she did at the border. But let's talk about this bill, because I heard this a lot at the DNC.
Yes, exactly.
This, quote, bipartisan bill allowed mass amnesty. And I'm sorry, but any Republican that put their name on that, any Republican that worked on that and said that that's fine, should be embarrassed. I'm glad it failed, because you see this so often, Guy. There'll be the name of a bill. Let's just call it the Guy Relford Protecting Puppies bill.
Right, yeah.
Right? But then somebody puts a bunch of bull crap at the back end of it, and it doesn't pass, and the narrative becomes, well, I guess people want puppies to be murdered. Guy Relford doesn't want puppies to be saved.
Exactly.
No, that's not the case at all. The stuff at the front may be okay. It's the backloaded bullcrap.
Well, you couldn't be more right. And along those lines, this has been this continuous theme we've seen from the DNC and from Kamala individually, which is we needed this bill to secure the border. And without the bill that the Republicans killed, how they're blaming Donald Trump for that, he contacted his people, in the Congress who killed it. You're a former president. I don't know how you even have people, but let's say that's true for all the reasons that you mentioned, which are legitimate. Did Donald Trump need another bill to secure the border during the 4 years he was in office?
Bingo.
When we saw record reductions, he didn't need another law. What Donald Trump did was to enforce current law. That's all we're asking the current administration to do. That's all we've been asking them to do for 3.5 years, is just enforce current law, and you'll have dramatic reductions. They refuse to do that, and then they want to erect this straw man argument that, we needed this additional bill to get that done. It's complete BS.
Guy, if you need a reason to drink today, if watching that interview just made your blood boil and you need a reason to drink tonight, how about this? Today is National Beach Day.
Oh, man.
And as a representative, as the unofficial mayor of Beach Grove, I feel like I should celebrate tonight. Here's great moments in Beach Boys history in honor of National Beach Day. Somebody made a mashup featuring the Beach Boys and Madonna. All right.
Yeah, nice try.
All right, so I can tell that one doesn't thrill you. How about this one? A mashup of the Beach Boys doing the Beastie Boys Fight for Your Right to Party.
Interesting.
Gotta fight for your right to party. Gotta fight for your right to party. Gotta fight for your right to party.
It's already better than Motley Crue's version.
Gotta fight for your right to party. Gotta fight for your right to party.
It's a little bit better, I think.
All right, that could get me moving right there. I kind of like that one.
Now, this may be a generational thing.
Yeah.
Okay? Have you ever heard 99 Problems by rapper Jay-Z?
No, 1,000 times, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well,
I've been known to hum that to myself.
Okay. Well, here's a Beach Boys version.
If you're having girl problems, I feel bad for your son. I got 99 problems, but a J1. 99 problems.
Come on.
99 problems, but a J1.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah, well, it's funny, so that gets a pass.
Matt Baer once said, I've got 99 problems and ditch ain't one. Ditch Road,
I've
okay?
got 99 problems, but ditch ain't one.
Yeah, Ditch Road, okay, Matt?
Yeah, Ditch Road is fantastic here at the moment. I'll let you know if that changes. Eastbound is 70 coming into the South Split. This is a crash downtown. Eastbound 70 at the South Split, and 2 left lanes are blocked. We are jammed back to Belmont. Inbound 65 stop and go. MLK to Meridian Penn. Southwest side southbound 465 stop and go traffic before 70 past Kentucky Avenue. And vehicle fire cleared going to Brownsburg. Westbound 74 465. We are good to go. The traffic is cleared out as well. Traffic sponsored by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They've teamed up with the Indiana Fever and Common Threads to provide local schools with information for nutritious meal preparation. Learn more at anthem.com/fever. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies Incorporated. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Matt Baer, get your butt in here and do some radio with us.
Let's do it.
Matt Baer going to join us in studio, so get those eyeballs to the YouTube chat. You can look at Matt Baer and look at Guy Relford on the YouTube chat. I challenge you to try not to get pregnant while you're doing that. 94 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Summer's in Indy, and if you hate the paint, do what Judy did. She called Rhino Shield.
After having the house painted with kind of usual house paint, I was seeing cracks appearing about every 3 years and just wasn't very satisfied with that.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating specifically formulated for our unique climate.
I can't speak highly enough about the Rhino Shield crew. They also were great at working with me to get the exact right color because I was very particular.
And right now you can get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 10% off the regular price. Plus, there's more great news. Rhino Shield has partnered with Green Sky Financing to offer affordable monthly payments with 0% interest loans to qualified customers.
I would not hesitate to call Rhino Shield and recommend Rhino Shield to my friends and neighbors and family.
Here's Rhino Shield Shane Smith.
Call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint. Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey, checking in?
This is not just your flu shot appointment at Walgreens.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
This is getting your entire family vaccinated in one trip.
Hey, Mom?
And a snack on the way out. Get flu shots for everyone in your family, together. Schedule appointments online today. This is wellness made easy. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability and for ages 3+. State and health-related restrictions may apply.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Hey, don't take your eyes off the road, just listen. What you hear right now, your customers hear it too. Get your message heard. Text BUSINESS to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
This hour on WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, designers of fine custom jewelry.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Nobody brings more eyeballs to the YouTube chat than Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
How you doing, brother?
I'm fantastic. Gorgeous day in downtown Indianapolis.
Labor Day weekend, one of the busier travel weekends. We still got some construction to deal with, though, don't we?
Yeah, we do. And it's going to be up over Labor Day weekend. We have multiple construction zones here in the Fine Circle City, and that means we're just going to have to be careful. And starting next week, the west side of 465 is going to get the barrels again, okay? And I mean this construction project that's been going on. There's westbound, in this case, it's going to be southbound 465. They've been working on the northbound side, so late next week, expect some lane closure southbound 465 right in that I-74 area, you know, where they've been working and all the entrance ramps and all that. Yeah, it's going to be happening again. And it's going to be, there are going to be certain days, this is baffling, certain days they do it like it's a Monday, Wednesday, Friday weekend thing, but Tuesdays and Thursdays, as I understand it, as I read everything, they won't be. So there's going to be details at WIBC traffic. But man, it is construction season, and I say it every year, this is the worst one ever.
It's construction season. It's been construction decade. Matt, what are you talking about?
Oh, man.
I know, right?
And Matt, checking WIBC traffic has got to be just part of everybody's day anymore because, correct me if I'm wrong, driving on 465, it's like interstate roulette. You never know.
We're gonna start doing that every Tuesdays now.
No, I'm telling you. I mean, I check my navigation everywhere I go now, no matter whether I know exactly where I'm going because it tells me where the delays are. There are times I'm like, oh, I'm going all the way down to the southeast side. Oh, look, it's 17 minutes, and the exact same drive the next day, and it's an hour, and I'm going, what the hell? And it's all because of these pop-up construction projects that aren't every day necessarily.
Yeah, we have the work zones. The ones you know that are going to be there, the really bad ones on the southwest side. That's still the interstate is done. I-69 is done. It runs from Evansville to Indianapolis. You can go both ways. It's great, but there's still that very narrow construction zone on 465.
Yeah.
It runs 65 to 70. I hate being in that thing, and I always call my mom before I get in it. I'm like, this may be the last time you hear from me for a long time. And then you have Clear Path construction up on the northeast side. That goes from 56 to Allisonville Road, and that's going to be there until the end of the year. What you're talking about is some of these projects like I just detailed a little bit on the west side. You know, the ones that last 3 or 4 days are just enough to really make you have a crappy week, you know.
Yeah. Right.
The northbound side was so bad.
And some of this stuff just pops up out of left field. Like, so I live on the southwest side, and I drive my youngest son to school. You know, he's close to getting his license, doesn't have it yet. So we usually go down Raymond, right? And it's an easy back way into Beech Grove. So I'm going down Raymond, and lo and behold, the whole thing's closed then. I'm like, where the hell did this come from? And then this morning, I believe it's back open again.
If I was driving my kids to school in Indianapolis right now, I'd have them drop out for a couple of years and just be like, listen, Daddy wants to be able to put food on the table to be able to do that. I can't take you to school anymore. No, it's the craziest thing, and it's not. I understand because these projects have to be done. The bridges we don't want bad bridges on the interstate. You know, when they're rebuilding the North Split, and I somehow ironically live next to the North Split. I kid you not. And every night I could hear the construction, the jackhammer, you know, it would run from 9 p.m. overnight because they're trying to get it done. They were set back during COVID, and I'm thinking, I hate this. I'm losing my mind.
You just gave me an idea for a great shirt on the merchandise store. Matt Bear's jackhammer loves the North Split. Like, how do we not have that available at the Hammer and Nigel Show merchandise store?
My North Split to your South Split, baby. No, it would be a great shirt. It really would.
Matt Bear is part of a phenomenal podcast supporting sobriety. You do this with Ryan Hedrick, who also is in the newsroom. It's a phenomenal podcast designed not just for those going through the addiction problem, but the caregivers, the people that love those people. What's the clip we got today?
Today is from the latest show. We have a show come out every Wednesday on every podcast provider. I like to use Apple. Doesn't matter. It could be Spotify. It could be anywhere. You can go to WIBC.com and get the podcast as well. But it was Ryan's idea to start a step study. And I'm thinking about, okay, that's the steps are for us. How do we apply that to the kid? Well, the steps, we learn them, and then our behavior and relationships are applied to the caregivers. So basically, we did an episode on steps 1 through 3. It's a lot of fun. It was so rewarding. And the key to the first 3 steps is what we're going to hear right here, Corbin. And you'll love this as a caregiver. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. We is our focus now, not me. We is there for a reason. It starts with we for a reason. And we can include every alcoholic and addict that wants to come with us. We can include you in our recovery as well. If we're seeing things as we and not me for the first time in our damn lives, and the first time maybe in our lives, we're considering your feelings as well. And we'll come to learn to stop taking from you because now you matter. That is so important because
I love how open you guys are on this.
Thank you. Thank you. There are days we tape one of these episodes, I walk out there and I feel like I've been hit by a bus. It's because we are basically going back through all our crappy behavior from the last 25 years. And when you're starting recovery, to be able to stay sober and stay in recovery is to be able to admit that my way doesn't work. And that's what that clip is all about. All of a sudden we're conglomerate. All of a sudden we're a multitude. It goes from me to we. And everybody is involved. The caregiver, you guys, the recovering alcoholics and addicts. I am so sheepish about talking anything 12-step because of the anonymity. But Ryan was right. This is important to get out there and help the caregiver understand. When you hear your addict or alcoholic say, I'm starting the 12 steps, that should be music to your ears. That is a beautiful thing because that's when the surrender begins. And that's when I say it's not about me anymore.
Supporting Sobriety is the name of the podcast. You can find it at WIBC.com. Click on shows and scroll down, download, subscribe. Matt Bear, love you, brother. You're the best.
Love you guys. Thanks for having me, as always.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
It's happening. Indiana is investing in our hometowns. Statewide, each region selected the local projects most important to our quality of life. And with the help of Indiana Ready Grants, real progress is all around us. A $3 million Ready Grant is helping build our new Shelby County Early Learning Center. By early December, local toddlers will have access to high-quality care and education. A $250,000 Ready Grant for a new Decatur County ADA Accessible Inclusion Park will allow all our children to play and grow and thrive. It took bold thinking and working together to put Ready into action. And there's more to come. Learn more at IndianaReady.com. That's Indiana, READI.com. Brought to you by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. ForTheBold.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A roadmap to court for the former president. You've got 95 degrees, feels like 100. I'm Donnie Burgess. Here's what's trending at 3:31. Special counsel Jack Smith isn't done with his election interference case against Donald Trump.
The Supreme Court ruling on immunity really slowed things down. On July 1st, the majority of the Supreme Court ruled in Trump's favor, making it more difficult for special counsel Smith to bring certain aspects of his original case. The 4 charges that Donald Trump is facing: conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, obstruction of an attempt to obstruct an official proceeding, and conspiracy against rights. The new indictment focuses more on Trump and his unofficial role as a candidate.
Fox's David Spunt in Washington. A person shot on Indy's northeast side on East 16th Street around 2:45 this afternoon. The person is critical at the hospital. No word on any suspects from IMPD. If good luck carries on and you avoid any refinery outages or weather events, gas prices should continue to drop, says Patrick DeHaan, Gas Buddy's head of petroleum analysis.
I would say that by later this fall, we are on schedule for potentially seeing more and more stations falling below $3 a gallon for a longer period of time.
The switch to cheaper winter gasoline is only a few weeks away. Just getting word that Indianapolis just set a record. 96 degrees was the hottest temperature today, breaking the record set in 1964. Weather for Labor Day weekend looks pretty good, says forecaster Andrew White.
Expecting a high temperature of 77 for the Indianapolis area. You get closer to northern Indiana, may struggle to get out of the low 70s with dew points in the 50s going to feel pretty good.
And you can take advantage of the cool down, reports Terry Stacy.
Butter at the Stutz continues through Saturday. Also check out Art in the Park Community Enrichment and Music Festival at Garfield Park.
It's a fancy resource fair. Saturate the community with resources. We'll have art exhibitors out there, We lay it on top of a music festival, so we have some of Indy's finest.
Demetrius Bruno says there's free admission noon to 8 at McAllister Amphitheater on Saturday. Terry Stacy, WIBC Mobile News.
WIBC News Time 3:33. Traffic and weather coming up after the break.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, over 3 million people called Morgan & Morgan in their time of need. And with over 1 million of those calls coming from previous clients, friends, and family.
My name is Jason Williams. It was a rainy day, and I got hit from behind by a lady that was doing somewhere over 100 miles an hour is what they were saying. I've never dealt with anything like this before. Everybody that I talked to kept saying the same name, which was Morgan & Morgan. I was on hold for maybe 15 seconds. When they come back and said, Jason, we will absolutely take your case. As a non-tech savvy guy, any question that I had, if I called, text, or emailed, they got right back to me. They made it as easy for me as it could have been.
Thank you for trusting us. We've become the largest injury firm in the world because we've won a lot. The word is out. Size matters. Reputation matters. We're America's largest injury law firm for a reason. With over 900 dedicated attorneys and climbing, we're ready wherever you are, whatever you need. The choice is easy. We're just a phone call away. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
What if you could build a six-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a six-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Brett Kitchen, best-selling author, executive producer, and star in a brand new Hollywood documentary called The Retirement Deception. In this film, we traveled over 20,000 miles interviewing real Americans who've retired successfully with a great lifestyle and peace of mind. They share their stories on how they get more retirement income with the same dollar saved, and the money's never at risk if the market crashes. That's right, if the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even the super wealthy are shifting money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you're over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money saved, call to talk to a specialist and get a free copy of this brand new movie at 800-486-9595. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you can get it completely free. I'll even cover shipping and handling, no credit card required. Call right now, 1-800-486-9595. That's 1-800-486-9595. Again, that's 1-800-486-9595.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
Taking a look at the roads, what's going on, Matt Baer?
Donnie, downtown crash, eastbound 70 at Meridian, Illinois. This is 2 left lanes closed. We are stopped back to Tibbs Avenue. Looking at the southwest side, southbound 465, slow traffic from 70 over to the White River. Northwest side, northbound 465, slow 86th Street up to 865. Northeast side, eastbound 465, stop and go traffic after Westfield Boulevard over to the White River. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. It's not too late to get the backyard of your dreams this year. Expand your living space with an Indy Decorative Concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts, big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And now the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Sunny, hot, and humid for the day today. We'll see highs right around 94, but feels like temperatures into the upper 90s near the triple digits. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Donnie Burgess on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Labor Day weekend. I'm Jason Hammer, Guy Relford filling in for Big Nige. Let's go to the hotline, bring on one of our favorites. He joins us every Friday at this time, Tommy Pigott, RNC Strategic Communications Director. You can see some of his work at RNC Research. You could also follow the man himself at Tommy Pigott. Tommy, happy Labor Day weekend to you, and I'm sorry that your extended holiday probably got off on a sour note, having to watch all 18 minutes of Kamala Harris, Tim Walz doing that interview on CNN.
Yeah, I mean, the only blessing there was that I guess it was a short one. Even though in reality, she should have had a much longer interview. She should have done it by herself. And there's still a lot more questions she needs to answer because, to be perfectly frank, she didn't really answer any of the questions in a compelling way that when she was asked them in this CNN interview.
Right. We can talk about some of the things that she said in that interview, but again, it just blows my mind that she sat down with her vice presidential candidate for like over an hour with Dana Bash. It's not like this is some heated crossfire here. It's CNN and Dana Bash. And even though I thought Dana did an okay job, all they got was 18 minutes to put on the air.
Yeah, well, I think it goes to the fact that Kamala Harris is so desperately afraid of interviews. She does not want to answer questions. She knows that she really can't answer questions. And it really was a softball type of interview. And the questions that were asked of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, for that matter, they really couldn't answer. I mean, basic questions like, what would you do on day one if you'd be elected president? She couldn't answer. And part of the reason why she couldn't answer was because day one for Kamala Harris was actually over 1,300 days ago, 3.5 years ago, when she was named vice president. So that's part of the problem that she has there. And she was asked, why are you actually doing a lot of these things that you're saying you're going to do right now because you're in the White House? Again, couldn't answer that question. And so I think there was a lot of missed answers or lack of answers from Kamala Harris. And I think one of the big takeaways that we did get was that Kamala Harris still has a lot of the same dangerously liberal policies, and she still believes a lot of the same things, even though her staffers are trying to erase that from the internet.
Tommy, this is Guy. Do you think that Kamala is going to continue on through the rest of the campaign and through the election without ever coming out with any specificity whatsoever with respect to what her platform, what her policies really are? I mean, she's avoiding that like the plague right now. She kind of slithered out of any answers on that as to questions that were even posed to her last night. Nothing was very direct, but anything posed to her, she just avoided. And how long can she do that? Can that be a successful election strategy?
Well, I don't think it is going to be successful, but I think she's going to try all the way up until November. I mean, just if the last 40 days has been any indication, I think she's going to keep on trying to do that. She still doesn't have a single policy page on her entire website. She does have 7 donation buttons, though, so it's clear her priority is not explaining what she's going to do. So I mean, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, we actually made a website for her that has her policies on there. It's called Kamala2024policies.com, and it's all based in her past comments, legislation that she's co-sponsored, things that she said. And one of the telling things from the interview last night was when she was asked about all of her past positions, she said that my values have changed the same. Excuse me, my values have stayed the same, not changed. My values have stayed the same. And I think that shows that for Kamala Harris, she still is as dangerously liberal as ever, because a lot of the far left stuff that she was proposing really goes to a fundamental view of the role of government. It goes to a fundamental desire for control of the far left of every aspect of our lives. So if her values are the same, then she still supports a Green New Deal, still supports abolishing the border, still supports defunding the police, because those are all things that she has supported in the past. She's never personally disavowed those. And last night she said that her values have stayed the same. So she's really just as dangerously liberal as ever.
Tommy, I'm not trying to be Monday morning quarterback here, but I really feel like you guys missed an opportunity by not calling that Project 2024. Fight a little fire with fire there, Tommy.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's kind of outrageous that Kamala Harris is out here lying about President Trump's policies continually, completely misleading people while having zero policies of her own. I mean, her entire campaign is based on lies. The entire thing. I mean, the new ads he just put out talking about Project 2025, if people actually want to know President Trump's real platform, it's on his website. It is literally on his website. He has a whole agenda there that he is outlining, 20 core promises to the American people. But Kamala Harris knows she can't run against those promises because they're popular. And she knows she can't run on her agenda because she knows it's unpopular. So instead, she just lies and lies and lies. And I think the American people, the more they hear from Kamala Harris, the more they don't trust her. And I think that's the right opinion to take. I mean, every single time she says something that's either not true or it's so vague you have no idea what she's talking about.
And Tommy, I'm a Second Amendment guy. That's what my show is about on Saturdays. And it's notable to me that here Kamala came out so strongly in the 2020 election, said flat out in a debate she strongly supports what they call mandatory buybacks, which and I know is just another word for confiscation. And she seems to be running from that now at every opportunity. She still says she, quote unquote, supports an assault weapon ban. We'll see her X or Twitter posts that say ban assault weapons. But I don't know how that works. I mean, there's roughly 20 million of them in the country right now. You're saying you don't want confiscation, but you're going to ban them. What exactly is the plan? It sounds like she just wants to talk generalities and avoid, like everything else, any specificity whatsoever.
Well, I think that's exactly it. And I think this actually goes to an important point I was trying to make earlier with when it comes to these issues, if she's saying her values are the same, you either believe in the Second Amendment or you don't. That's a value, right? That's a fundamental view of a constitutional right. And so for her to say that her values have stayed the same means she still holds those positions. We're not talking about, a tax rate of 35 versus 37%, for example, right? We're talking about fundamental issues that approach basic elements of American life that she has advocated for decades and decades. And then all of a sudden she sends anonymous staffers out there to try to erase that record from history, but statements from anonymous staffers does not make a policy agenda. So all we really have to go on are her past statements. Again, past statements that she said she still agrees with. So that goes to gun confiscation. It goes to the fact that she wants to wage war on American energy. It goes to the fact that she wants to spend $93 trillion on a Green New Deal. She wants a socialist takeover of healthcare, which would eliminate 170 million Americans' healthcare plans. If her values are the same, then she still holds those positions because those are fundamental views of the role of government and our constitutional rights. And so if she still has those same values, those are her positions, and those are dangerously liberal positions.
Tommy Pickett is our guest, the Strategic Communications Director for the RNC. All right, Tommy, let's talk about what the RNC is doing here, gearing up for Election Day. Where are you guys at with making sure the election will be secure? Do you guys have enough workers and volunteers to be at these poll sites? I know that was something you guys were very passionate about early on.
100%. So we launched a program at the RNC with the Trump campaign to recruit 100,000 volunteers for our election integrity operation. Right now, we are at over 160,000 volunteers already recruited for part of that program. So we have already surpassed that goal, and we're building on it every single day. We're adding more and more people. People can get involved by going to protectthevote.com. So that's one element of it, making sure we have those volunteers, and we're building that unprecedented program. The second element is with the litigation. We have filed over 100 lawsuits this cycle alone, ranging from everything to make sure that states follow the law when it comes to cleaning up their voter registration rolls, making sure that non-citizens can't vote in American elections, which is common sense. It's outrageous Democrats want non-citizens to vote in our elections. That should be a 90% of Americans agree with that issue, but for some reason, the 10% here is trying to force it on the rest of us. So engaged in litigation there. Also making sure that we have equal numbers of poll workers at different poll locations. For example, in Detroit, we're seeing that they're hiring way more Democrats or getting way more Democrats involved in terms of poll workers there when the law says they need to be equal Democrats and Republicans. So we're engaged with litigation across the country, and we're making sure we have the unprecedented election integrity program with those over 160,000 volunteers already recruited.
And Tommy, what a lot of us saw in 2020 that was so noticeable is, at 3:30 in the morning, that so many of these swing states, Democrat-controlled swing states, they stopped voting, and then all of a sudden you saw this huge upsurge for Joe Biden after they started counting again. Is there anything specifically directed to that phenomenon? Because that's what a lot of us are just absolutely petrified about, was that spike at 3:30 after they apparently were tabulating how many votes they needed.
Well, the solution to this is transparency and making sure that we have eyes on every single part of this process. And that's why we're going to have this massive, unprecedented program with those over 160,000 volunteers. Again, we're adding more people every single day, recruiting more volunteers to make sure we have eyes on every single part of this process. We're also going to have a rapid response legal team that when issues arise, when issues are reported, our legal team will be able to jump into action immediately to make sure that there's a remedy for whatever problem, whatever issue is being reported, and also just to investigate to see what's actually happening. So we're going to have that rapid response legal team. We're going to have eyes on every single part of this process. And then fundamentally, the most important thing besides perhaps volunteering to be part of the program that people can do is to vote. We have to make it too big to rig. People have to vote. Sometimes I hear, why should I vote if I'm worried about it counting? The best way to ensure your vote doesn't count is to not vote. So everyone needs to vote. You need to get your friends and family to vote. And then if you want to get involved in that election integrity program, go to protectthevote.com.
Too big to rig. I love that. Tommy Pickett, RNC Strategic Communications Director. Tommy, have a great Labor Day weekend. We'll do it again next Friday.
You as well. Thanks for having me on.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
As fall approaches, you have a lot to prepare for. Back to school, sporting events, family gatherings, and staying on top of your health. The virus that causes COVID-19 continues to evolve. So this fall, no matter what you're prepping for, you can prioritize your family's health and make a game plan for COVID-19 vaccination. Ask your doctor or pharmacist to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Discover the Cumberland Covered Bridge Festival in Matthews, September 6th through 8th. Cross over the historic 1877 covered bridge for antique engines and tractors, live entertainment, and mouth-watering food. Then check out the cool rides at the Classic Car Show Sunday at the Matthews Community Center. Get details at showmegrantcounty.com. Grant County, Indiana. Classic cool.
Indiana adventure is near. Come to Grant County this year.
Research shows smoking costs Indiana businesses $3.1 billion every year. It also shows that an extra $2 per pack tax on cigarettes would drastically reduce smoking, which could save lives, create jobs, and infuse the state of Indiana with hundreds of millions of dollars annually. Read the reports from the Richard M. Fairbanks Foundation at thepriceofsmoking.org and see for yourself how an extra $2 per pack tax on cigarettes can have a positive impact on Hoosiers.
Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's family-owned jewelry store, is dedicated to quality and fine craftsmanship. Let them help you celebrate that special moment in your life. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Plumbing problems stink. The LD Smith Crew can handle anything. Call today for $50 off any plumbing repair, big or small.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
You want to listen all day to WIBC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry. There's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts, Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, Matt Bear, what's going on, buddy?
Looking at eastbound 70 Meridian, Illinois. Crash blocking 2 left lanes, stopping traffic. Back to Tibbs Avenue. That is a delay time of 45 minutes. If you're at the back of the line, at that delay from Tibbs to the South Split. Inbound 65, stop and go. MLK to Meridian Penn. And northbound 465 east side slowing at East 56. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. It's not too late to get the backyard of your dreams this year. Expand your living space with an Indy Decorative Concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now, 93 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Crank up the band. Let's do a round of Damn Nature, You Scary.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
Do you suppose we'll meet any wild animals?
Hey, baby, let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs. Have some fun.
The dingo ate your baby.
And now, Hammer and Nigel proudly presents
Damn Nature, You Scary.
on 93 WIBC.
Lions.
And tigers. And bears.
Oh, my.
I've never worked for the animal control department, like your local animal control department, but I would imagine when you take a job there, you expect to see dogs, cats, raccoon, maybe the occasional deer, something like that. I don't think you expect to see a 10-foot, 80-pound python, especially if you live in Maryland.
Yeah, right.
Pikeville, Maryland. 10-foot, 80-pound python was found in the backyard of this guy's house. So he doesn't know what to do, so he just calls the local city, county animal control guy. And to his credit, this guy's a badass. You're going to hear from him here in just a second. He doesn't freak out. He doesn't whine. He shows up and takes care of business.
We get to the customer's house. I told him to keep an eye on it. He keeps an eye on the thing the whole time. We get there, it's coiled up underneath of a tree. First thing is safety. We got our gloves on, right? So we usually figure it's going to be possibly somebody's pet. So we gauged as to how aggressive it may be. It started a little bit of hissing when we got close. So one guy distracted it from one end, while the other kind of went behind, grabbed it by the head. Just moving it, they are pure muscle. So moving something like that is crazy to feel the strength of it. A giant, like, just ice chest, and that was what it went inside, and that's what we transported it. Put a bunch of bungees on there so I wasn't driving down the highway with a 10-foot snake in the back of my truck just loose. It was a blast to do. It was an absolute blast. I really enjoyed it, and if I got another call, I'd be there.
That's a power move. Going there, finishing the job, and then basically putting him in your beer cooler, putting a few bungees on there, and then driving off like a badass.
Well, you guys do a lot of Damn Nature You Scary episodes. How do you feel about snakes? Are snakes on your list of scariest creatures out there? Where do they rank?
For me, not so much.
Yeah.
Like, I'm more startled or scared by stuff that can move at you quickly. Like, if I'm walking on a trail somewhere and I see a snake, I'm like, okay, I'd prefer not to be around that,
right,
but it doesn't weird me out. Like, if there's a rabid raccoon and it's making a beeline for me, like in the movie Elf, where Buddy the Elf tries to give it a hug and it jumps up at him, that would freak me out a little bit more.
See, I have a dramatically different reaction to things I can see. I can sort of gauge what the risk is. Big ass snakes coiled up under the tree. All right, it is what it is. I can kind of decide how I'm going to deal with this. What I don't like is things I can't see. I mean, I was in high school during the original Jaws, and I got to tell you, that changed my life, because I'll be skiing in Morse Reservoir. I'll be at a Geist, and I'll be in the water, and I'll be thinking, there's stuff under this water I can't see right now.
Right.
And it's the stuff you can't see that could come up and snatch your ass. That's the stuff I don't. That's stuff that spooks me.
There's a lot of places by the water that do this thing where you get out there in a raft in the summertime and they've got Jaws on like an inflatable screen. Would you sit out in the water, even though it's probably like fine, like Geist or something, where there are no sharks, but would that still freak you out just a little bit?
Well, it's totally illogical. It makes no sense. I mean, you're sitting there going, look, I know there's not, a 20-foot great white in Geist Reservoir. I mean, that, but I just don't like the creepiness of not being able to see what, may be lurking around.
Damn, Nature, you scary.
Guy Relford filling in for Big Nige today. You got a big day tomorrow. You and Tony Katz are going on the road, right?
Yeah, both Eat, Drink, Smoke, the show that Tony and Fingers Malloy do on Saturdays. They're going to start a little earlier. They usually start at 3. They're starting at 2. It's going to be pre-recorded for an hour. Then they're doing a live 1-hour Eat, Drink, Smoke at Brownsburg at Premier Arms. Sponsor a Monday Gun Day. I love those guys, and I love them absolutely. Then I'm starting an hour early for my show, so the Gun Guy show is going to be on from 4 to about 5:30. I think we have IndyCar commitments
Milwaukee
here at WIBC. Yeah, so we're going to start early. We're going to start at 4 and then end about 5:30. So if people tune in about 5:36, expecting to hear the Gun Guy show, we'll be over. But we'd love people to come out. It's a fundraiser for the VFW. And they're focusing on veteran suicides, and it's going to be a big fundraiser and a lot of good sponsors, food, bourbon, cigars, and we'd love to have people come out, and it'd be great to shake some hands.
Tell your friends at Premier that certain kid from Beech Grove might show up tomorrow and make another purchase.
Now we're talking.
Thinking about making another purchase.
I'd love to witness that whole process. That would be awesome. I'd love to be there when that happens.
And, it's going to be cool. Tony Katz, Guy Relford, both doing their shows there. Check that out tomorrow at Premier Arms. All right, coming up here a little bit after 4 o'clock, John Herrick, the news director here at 93 WIBC. He's going to come in studio. The ACLU, they've got a problem with IU Bloomington. I think we all saw this coming down the line. This is in regards to the new protocol in place for protests on campus. So we're going to get John Herrick in here. Plus, we've got an update on the WIBC debate party. That's next.
Whether you're dropping them off for their first day of school or they're driving themselves for the first time, we know you have enough on your mind. That's why Hubler's got you and your family covered for 100,000 miles. So head back to school in a Hubler Q-certified vehicle, including a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report. Shop any of our 12 locations and choose from Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. Over 2,000 vehicles. All makes, all models. Certified vehicles, luxury vehicles, even the hard-to-find ones. Head back to school with peace of mind, knowing Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles.
Hubler's got you covered.
Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations.
Hubler's got you covered.
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Folks ask, Salty Pete, what's the best part of being a pirate? Hello? It's all the buried treasure. I've been following this here treasure map all day. Time to dig. Oh, I once knew a lesson, no trolley with... Arr!
You just hit a power line.
Contact Indiana 811 at least 2 working days before picking up a shovel. It's the only way to dig. Learn more at 811.safedigindiana.com.
Sponsored by the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission and aired by this station.
Remember the big bad wolf? Michaelis does. Because around here, all that huffing and puffing and blowing houses down stuff comes in the form of rain, wind, and hail. And no matter what your structure is made of, Michaelis is made of first responders and craftsmen who can restore it to better than new condition. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure of
1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Coming up in 2 minutes, gas prices may continue to drop if luck falls in the right direction. John Herrick has that story. A person shot on Indy's north side. You'll get the latest info on that and the forecast for this Labor Day weekend, courtesy of Ryan Hedrick. Those stories and more next from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's now 4 o'clock, Fox News.
4 visits in 1 month to Pennsylvania. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The former president back in the battleground again with a rally set to begin soon in Johnstown.
In Cambria County, which is a county Trump won by 37 points in 2020, we expect the former president to attack Vice President Kamala Harris on her flip-flopping on the issue of fracking.
Fox's Brian Yennes. This as Harris defends changes on key issues, saying her values haven't changed. The Harris campaign is sending surrogates across the country to talk about abortion rights.
The 50-plus Stop Fighting for Reproductive Freedom bus tour starts in Palm Beach, Florida, in an effort, the Harris campaign says, to hold former President Trump directly accountable for the devastating impacts of overturning Roe v. Wade.
Fox's Jared Halper, and the Harris campaign also says former President Trump is lying after he announced yesterday he would support full coverage for the cost of IVF treatments. College students in Michigan who want refunds over the sudden switch to virtual classes or changes in campus housing during COVID lockdowns get rejected by the Michigan Supreme Court. Today's ruling lets stand an appeals court opinion that there was no promise of live in-person classes when that school year began. The Fed's favored inflation gauge shows continued cooling.
Inflation readings for July came in mostly as expected. The PCE price index rose 0.2%, also up 0.2 for core PCE, excluding food and energy. For the year ending in July, the increase 2.5%, and core annual inflation came in at 2.6%. Those numbers matched readings for June.
Fox's Jenny Cosola. The Fed's expected to start cutting a key interest rate next month after raising it to fight inflation. A late rally on Wall Street. The Dow up 228 at the bell to a new record close, 41,563. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The switchover makes all the difference. Good afternoon. You've got 94 degrees, clear skies. I'm Donnie Burgess. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Gas prices are supposed to steadily drop across Indiana. John Herrick has the down low on the low prices.
Some of that has to do with the type of gasoline that's used, says Patrick DeHaan. He's the head of petroleum analysis for Gas Buddy.
We will progressively go lower and lower, I think, the deeper we get into autumn. We're also just a little over 2 weeks away from switching back to cheaper winter gasoline.
And he says other refineries that dealt with outages in the Midwest have come back online, which is also keeping prices from spiking too bad in Indiana. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're paying $3.27 a gallon for gas today, says AAA. That's down 13 cents from last Friday. Franklin has the cheapest gas at $2.74. A person shot in a Kroger parking lot near Central Avenue in Indianapolis earlier this afternoon. They're critical at the hospital, say Indy Metro Police, expecting to hear more soon. The Indiana Pacers have signed another one of their players to a contract extension.
It was really fun just to play alongside the group, and it's a great feeling.
That's guard T.J. McConnell after the Eastern Conference Finals this past season. ESPN reports McConnell signed a 4-year, $45 million extension. If you're traveling this weekend, the weather should be nice, reports Ryan Hedrick.
The relief you've been waiting for starts Saturday morning when a cool front moves across Indiana.
That's going to bring high temperatures for us tomorrow, just in the low 80s, and then we're going to be kind of staying in the low to mid 80s through early next week.
Andrew White from the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says temperatures will drop to the 70s on Labor Day, which will make it feel like fall outside. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
WIBC News Time 4:04. Traffic and weather coming up in 1 minute.
The deals keep coming at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. Tony Katz here at Andy Moore Ford. The people, the selection, the service, everything you want. Shop their wide selection of certified pre-owned vehicles, all marked with more savings, so you can be sure you're driving home with the best deal. And their commercial truck center is currently undergoing big changes, which means bigger and better things for you coming soon. Stop by today. Check out every vehicle they have on the lot and all the electric vehicles they've got. The Mustang Mach-E, the E-Transit, and that F-150 Lightning, all in stock with more arriving daily. The all-electric F-150 Lightning has you covered with seating up to 5, intelligent backup power, and onboard power for all your tools and gear. And they've got the incentives, the rebates, the federal, the state incentives that can save you up to $7,500 instantly on site. Talk to Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield about your new car, your new truck, or your new electric vehicle. Andy Moore Ford, M-O-H-R. I love Andy. AndyMooreFord.com.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05, here's Matt Bear.
Yeah, Donnie, eastbound 70 stop traffic from Tibbs Avenue to Meridian Street. That is because of a crash at Meridian blocking 2 left lanes. Delay is at 32 minutes. Inbound 65 stop and go from 29th to Meridian Pad. North side, northbound 465 slowing from 86 to 865. Eastbound 465 stop and go traffic Westfield Boulevard to the White River. And on the south side, southbound 465 slows from 70 to Man Road. Traffic sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And now the forecast, brought to you by the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Friday evening in Indiana's not looking all too bad. Partly cloudy with a late night shower or storm possible. Chance of rain about 40% in your local neighborhood. Low temperature drops to 72 degrees, and we're looking at a few more morning thunderstorms possible Saturday. Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
The Hammer and Nigel Show up next. I'm Donnie Burgess on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Nigel. Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock it!
Hey, now, it is the Hammer and Nigel Show. I'm Jason Hammer. Guy Relford, 2A attorney and host of the Gun Guy Show. He's filling in for Big Nige. And joining us in studio is the news director here at 93 WIBC, John Herrick. So we got the news yesterday, I think it was, John, that the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union, is filing a lawsuit against Indiana University. This is in regards to the protesting, the Dunn Meadows situation. Take me through what's going on here.
Well, it's IU actually enacted a new policy called their expressive activity policy back on August 1st, and it basically means that it's prohibiting expressive activity between the hours of 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. during the day. Now, that applies to all students, it applies to employees, and even guests and visitors of the university as well. And basically, the policy says that anybody who violates it could face a wide range of punishments. Students could be suspended, staff could be expelled. It does include things like protesting or making speeches or participating in a peaceful assembly. And that's where the American Civil Liberties Union got involved and said.
So let me back up just a little bit here. I didn't mean to cut you off right
fine,
there.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
previously, IU kind of had a problem because they changed the rules last minute before the first round of pro-Hamas, anti-Israel protests, whatever you want to call them, took place at Dunn Meadow. They caught a lot of crap. They had some independent review come back and say, listen, next time, make sure you've got all the rules in place. So the IU Board of Trustees and Quinn Buckner and all those folks got together and they put these lists out there. And I think one of them, correct me if I'm wrong, was that, yes, you can protest in Dunn Meadow, but you can't have an encampment. It's got to be between certain hours, like 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. And there's a number of other things.
Yeah, it definitely involves that. And you're also not allowed to communicate by any lawful verbal, written, or electronic means. And this, basically, the ACLU is arguing that this violates the First Amendment of people. And I think it's just, well, again, it's not like this is an all-day thing. It's between the hours of 11 p.m. and 6 a.m., and this has been going on since August 1st. What the ACLU wants to do is file an injunction, which they plan on doing, to try to get this policy suspended until the court figures it out. What will be interesting to see what follows in the weeks ahead is what IU's response will be to this lawsuit.
And listen, the Supreme Court has ruled, and other lower courts have ruled, that governmental entities, and I think it's fair to say a state university falls in that category, they actually can restrict what they call the time, place, and manner of exercising First Amendment rights, as long as they provide plenty of other ample opportunities to exercise your Second Amendment rights, other locations, other times. Then they can restrict if there's a compelling state interest to do so, and if it's narrowly tailored to advance that governmental interest. So, I mean, that's the kind of the legal test. So I'll guarantee you that's why they're saying 11 p.m., exactly as John said, 11 p.m. and 6 a.m., that's pretty narrow, right? And that's what they're trying to fit within that, what we call the time, place, and manner exception to First Amendment rights.
And again, this is specifically with this Dunn Meadow, which is kind of universally known on the campus of Indiana as the area for protests or even campus celebrations, right? You're part of the IU Sports Network. Let's say that in football this year, IU beats Michigan or Ohio State, and they have a big all-campus rocker. More often than not, it's going to be in Dunn Meadow.
Yes, yeah, that's a huge historic part of campus, and I think they also the big issue that ACLU has with this, and this is the point they kept making in the Zoom call yesterday, is that they feel not necessarily the timing, but the policy itself is too broad. They're just afraid that you're going to be able to, you're going to try to express yourself, and you're not going to have the freedom to do so, and it's going to restrict you. So they have big issues with the policy. So it's not necessarily the timing they have the issue with, but it's the policy. So the other thing that's going to be interesting to see is how the president, Pam Whitten, responds to this, because she's come under some scrutiny as well, and the administration will certainly have an interesting thing to say. I'm sure that's going to be coming out probably in the coming weeks.
Guy, maybe I'm just looking at this in a naive way here, but imagine you're a Jewish student.
Oh, I know.
And you go to Indiana University. Last year, when you tried to go to class, you had to see a group of angry people yelling at you, sometimes blocking your way, making you walk around, and not just students. Sometimes it was employees or faculty members. And you think, all right, the summer's happened. I just want to go back and get an education. Maybe you're not somebody that's even into current events. You're just trying to get from one class to the other. And you see that the Civil Liberties Union has gotten in and they've picked a side and it's not yours. Like, how would that make you feel if you were a Jewish student at Indiana?
Exactly. I mean, you can, your constitutional rights, your right to freedom of travel, your right to an education, your right to walk through campus is not as important as someone who's yelling, death to Jews and accusing you personally just because of your religion as committing atrocities and genocide in the Middle East. I mean, how heartbreaking is that? And I think the balancing here of one person's rights versus other people's rights is completely one-sided under the liberal policies of places like Indiana University.
So, John Herrick, news director, what's next in this story? Are we just kind of in a wait-and-see thing? Does this policy that they rolled out over the summer stay in effect until we hear otherwise?
Yeah, this is so. There's a couple separate things going on here. First, they do have the issue of what happened this past spring with all the Dunn Meadows situation with those protests, which resulted in arrests and the police showing up. And then there's this, which is separate from that, although it does have to do with protests. And they're going to file an injunctive relief to try to get this policy suspended, and then until the court decides what they want to do with it. And they haven't even. I asked them in the Zoom call, has the university said anything to you about this policy in particular? And they said no, they haven't yet. So that their response will be coming up next. And I also kind of want to know, how do they enforce this? How many people do you have out between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. to even enforce such a policy anyway? And is this something that they're just putting up there to sort of deter people from being out at those kind of hours?
Where can we get more information?
So, WIBC.com has the latest on this and all the latest news.
Looking forward to hearing you tomorrow on coverage of IU football, John. Have a great rest of your Labor Day weekend. Knock it out of the park tomorrow on the broadcast, and we appreciate your time.
Yeah, John Herrick, by the way, fellow DePaul Tiger.
Yes.
That's very important to note. I mean, 2/3 of this broadcast team right now is from DePaul University.
I'm sure Hammer loves to hear that.
Hey, all three that are here have participated in Celebrity Beer Bong.
Yeah, okay. All right.
That
Excellent.
is correct.
John, awesome stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, John.
The debate rules apparently have been finalized, Guy. This leaked memo from ABC, it just came out, and it sounds like ABC is going to be keeping the microphones on mute for this upcoming debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. You good with this?
As requested by the Trump campaign. I absolutely am. And I think the discussion has been right on this. I've heard you guys talk about it and others, where apparently the strategy of the Harris team was to allow Trump to interrupt and then just play victim. And that would then distract from the fact that she's going to fumble, fart, and fall down when the debate actually happens.
Right.
I mean, so it was like, let's have a big free for all where the format is going to take precedence over substance, and this won't allow that to happen. And that you saw it play out to Trump's great advantage in that first debate with Biden.
It really was helpful to him.
It was.
I know early on, people thought they're just going to turn his microphone off. He's not going to be allowed to respond. Ultimately, though, we all know how Donald Trump is. Sometimes he can't help himself.
Exactly.
And Kamala was going to goat him into that moment where she can say, I'm speaking. Because that's what she's got. That's all that she has.
That's it.
That one line, I'm speaking, excuse me. Trying to pull the mom card.
Yep.
So I think this is going to be good.
I do too.
It sounds like the microphones will be on mute, no studio audience. The debate will be 90 minutes, no opening statements. No notes. They have to stand up. And the moderators, which are David Muir and Lindsay Davis of ABC, which a lot of people don't like Lindsay Davis, it's better than Stephanopoulos.
Oh, my, yes.
I mean, if the options are these two or George Snuffleupagus, one of the great butt sniffers of all time, sign me up for these two. So we're having a debate party, by the way. September 10th, that's the night of the debate. 416 Wabash. That's the name of the venue. WIBC Debate Night Live, presented by the awesome folks at Garage Doors of Indianapolis. Downtown location here. With your ticket, you get a drink ticket, hors d'oeuvres. Hammer and Nigel show broadcasting live there. So if you want to stop by early and hang out with us, maybe we'll bring the beer bong. I don't know. But we're going to have a good time. As of earlier today, this was around noon, less than 50 tickets remain.
Oh, man.
So this thing is going to sell out if it hasn't already. So if you want to go to the debate party, Tony Katz is going to be there. Kendall and Casey, the Hammer and Nigel show broadcasting live. Guy, we'd love to have you out there and hang out with us.
I may try to act as your security or something, just so I can get in the door. Absolutely. That sounds like a lot of fun.
The cocktail hour and pictures, 7 to 8, presented by Heaven Hill. We're going to have a good time. If you've never been to one of our debate parties, it really is like a sporting event. People boo, people cheer. We're going to have a little round table discussion starting at 8 o'clock. So, man, buy your tickets right now. WIBC.com. Look for the events section. Hustle. If you got paid today, get your tickets now. Less than 50 remain. All right, Matt Baer, let's get people where they need to be. They got dates to get to, NHRA Nationals, Friday Night Lights tonight. There's a lot going on.
Downtown Hammer crash eastbound as 70 Meridian, Illinois. Crash cleanup continues with the 2 left lanes blocked, jamming us up. Back to Tibbs Avenue, delay time has ballooned to 48 minutes. Also inbound 65 stop and go traffic. And this is between 29th Street to Meridian Penn. Southwest side, southbound 465 slow. Before 70 down to Man Road, eastbound 70, that exit to 465 from the airport. Also slow right now for about a half mile. Northbound 65 in the Pike, slow roll from I-465 interchange up to 86th Street, and inbound 69 slow 96 to 465. Traffic sponsored by BJ's Wholesale Club. BJ's Wholesale Club is opening soon in Carmel. At BJ's, members get up to 25% off grocery store prices every day. Visit bjs.com/Carmel or the membership center at Rangeline Crossing Plaza to join today. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
94 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Coming up next, a fun-spirited round of Is This Anything? Come on back.
Man, I love the way my brand new Galaxy concrete garage floor looks. Those guys did an amazing job. They were in and out within a day. My old garage floor was dirty and gross and cracked, and their amazing staff came in and within a day made it look brand new. It's not epoxy, by the way. It's better and 4 times stronger. I spend a ton of time out in my garage, and my new Galaxy concrete garage floor is out of this world. Check out their website and see pictures and get a quote, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or call their office at 317-751-9070. What would happen to your husband or wife if you passed away first? Would they be confused about finances and struggle to make ends meet? You know, there is a solution that could guarantee your spouse receives steady and reliable income for the rest of their life. And it's backed by one of the largest, most trusted insurance companies in the world. Learn more by calling Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy. Call now, 317-648-5120. That's 317-648-5120.
If you've saved more than $200,000, schedule your free analysis with Bill Demery. Call 317-648-5120. Your bills won't stop when you pass away. That's why you need a solution that could provide a reliable income for your spouse, for your family, for the rest of their life. Call 317-648-5120. That's 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi there. I need a great connection to stream my favorite shows and movies.
Okay.
Is there a way I can get that and save money too?
We wondered the same thing. So we put our engineer brains together to give you the best of both worlds with Xfinity Internet Plus Stream Saver. You get Apple TV Plus, Netflix, and Peacock all for one low price.
Oh, so I can keep up with my coworker who spoils every show before I can watch it?
Exactly. And hey, you might even pass him.
Oh, Donna, it is so on.
Now through September 22nd, get 150 megabit Xfinity Internet for $30 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. And Wi-Fi equipment included. Plus, add Stream Saver for just $15 a month. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Xfinity. Bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless Planet Auto stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Currently $71 a month. Actual speeds vary. Stream Saver requires Xfinity Internet or TV and price subject to change.
I'm John Morgan. When people stop me to ask, what's my case worth, here's what I tell them. All law firms are not the same at all. You see, the most important part of anyone's injury case is the firm you hire. The insurance company knows exactly which firms fight for full value and which firms will settle your case for pennies on the dollar. Our firm has recovered billions and billions and billions. $3 billion last year alone. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey, checking in?
This is not just your flu shot appointment at Walgreens.
Yes.
This is getting your entire family vaccinated in one trip.
Hey, Mom?
And a snack on the way out. Get flu shots for everyone in your family, together. Schedule appointments online today. This is wellness made easy. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability and for ages 3+. State and health-related restrictions may apply.
Summer surprises? B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical has you covered. Visit bplusw.com/radio today. B&W is your independent American Standard Air dealer.
This hour on WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Guy Relford's filling in for Big Nige today. And Is This Anything is brought to you by Tom Roush Lincoln. Now, Allison's taking a vacation day, so we've got the very awesome Corbin here
Absolutely.
today. Now, Corbin's got one of the deepest voices you're ever going to hear.
It's an awesome voice.
It's awesome. So, give us a Roush one time, Corbin. Give me that big, booming, awesome voice. Give me a Roush. Roush. There we go. Get great deals at Tom Roush Lincoln and Fishers. All right, Guy, I'm going to run these stories by you. You break down all the information. You tell us if it's anything or not. Dateline, Colorado. Guy in Colorado ordered some guitar tuners from Amazon. And instead, he got a bag of poop in the mail. Now, he also got the tuners in a different bag later, but he also got a bag of poop that came first. Here is John talking about his surprise package.
Well, I didn't know what it was because it was kind of dark. I had just gotten home from work. It was late at night, and I couldn't tell what it was, and I reached in, and then I smelled it, and it was on my hand, and there was poop in there. We haven't had any arguments with anybody or anything, and we see the drivers occasionally and then just say thanks, and that's about it. I've never had any, major issues with any of the drivers, so I have no idea. Well, I just hope they figure out who it is that did it, and I'd like to know why.
Done anything?
Yeah, I mean, and for the exact reason he mentioned, it's who did this? I mean, did this come in an official Amazon package, wrapped up with the Amazon tape and the whole spiel? And that means somebody at Amazon thought that was okay to do that. I mean, is this directed at me personally? Is just as somebody's their last day on the job? I mean, hell, direct that at your management if you're upset with your job. Don't direct it at me. I'm all kinds of pissed off about this. If this is me, I'm doing a deep drill on this. I'm going back to Amazon. I'm pounding on somebody's desk until we figured out who did this and sent that to my house. Oh, hell no. That's a big deal. I'm still pissed.
Now, take me back to when Guy Relford was a young little hellraiser.
Yeah, right.
Did you ever do the trick where you light dog poo on fire on somebody's porch or anything like that?
Well, yes, but they deserved it.
Okay.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
was different than what's going on here.
Exactly. That lady who always crabs at you in the neighborhood, no matter what. And, I'm sorry, she deserved it perhaps more than once.
In my mind, Guy Relford's hiding in the bushes like Adam Sandler and Norm Macdonald and Billy Madison, waiting for old man Clemens to come out there and stomp it off. He called it poop.
Yeah.
Is this anything? A homeowners association in South Carolina, South Kakalaki, delivered a cease and desist to multiple families in the neighborhood because their kids were playing in the grassy field in the middle of the neighborhood. They're playing Frisbee, they're playing football, they're throwing, things around, they're having a good time. They're kids. They're not doing anything wrong, but the homeowners from both sides of the argument are explaining their side here.
The best way to parent my kids is allowing them to be outside, be healthy, be active. This is absolutely not an organized sport. The only thing organized about it is these 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds saying, hey, do you want to go play football?
They have coach, they have whistles, they have tents, they have water, and they've taken over the circle.
Well, before you know it, the Carolina Panthers will be playing here.
It's so great to see the kids outside, but these people, they push it from 10 to now 30 people.
This might be it. They sucked at sports when they were kids.
That's it. These homeowners association people, man, they're the worst. But that's my opinion. Maybe you're different.
Oh, hell no. It's a classic example. These people in these associations, they have a little bit of power. Now, all of a sudden, they just can't wait to exercise it as against somebody. I have a running feud with mine. I mean, they just try to...
Who gets into a feud with a guy known as the gun guy? Yeah. Who thinks that's a good thing to do?
Yeah, I mean, they nitpick me on just little stuff, and they just go out of their way. And in fact, I've actually represented, as a lawyer, a couple of other people in my neighborhood who were threatened by our HOA. They were threatened with litigation over something, and I went back and said, well, I'm this person's lawyer, and you need to just go away. We're going to kick your ass in court. And they went away. So, no, I HOAs and the people that tend to want to run them, that's a pet peeve for me. I got a big problem with those people.
Corbin, hit me with a little mood music here. Guy, I don't know how much country music you listen to, but this is Vince Gill.
Yeah.
Vince Gill, kind of southern rock country. He's on the road with the Eagles, I think, now. Eagles are doing a residency in Vegas. He's part of the Eagles now.
There you go.
But Vince Gill, 67 years old, he claims that he has never in his entire life sent a text message.
I've never sent a text. I'm the most non-tech guy that ever walked Earth. I love to talk to people. I'm pretty old school and all that, so I don't understand how it all works, but everybody's having a pretty good time with it, so I'm good.
Is that anything?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't care that much about Vince Gill, although he's made some great music over the years, and I have gone through periods in my life where I listen to a lot of country music. But I don't know. I'm almost not buying that. I mean, I turned 67 in November, so I'm basically the same age as this guy. I've been texting for what, 20 years, 25? I mean, hell, that's the primary mode of communication between me and my children.
Right.
Who are adults now, is through text, and my grandkids. I mean, that's just odd to me. I'm not sure it's anything because it's one person that's their preference.
Sounds like it's a lazy thing. Like you're not asking him, hey, connect your phone to your television, make sure that your Wi-Fi is on as well as your Bluetooth. That's not happening here. You hit text, you send a message, bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, see, and I would give me a chance to have like one beer with Vince Gill, and I will explain to him. I say, dude, once you start texting, people call you less. And I mean, haven't you ever said, dude, why don't you call me? Why don't you just send me a text?
I hate phone calls.
Exactly. And
hate phone calls.
And once you realize that when you text, people will call you less, your phone will ring less, that makes it all worthwhile right there.
Hit the like button on the YouTube page. This is the part of the show where we beg you to like the WIBC live stream of the Hammer and Nigel show. We got to get over 100. I know it's on a Friday. It's a holiday weekend, but Big Nick back in the digital department is going to break my legs if we don't get at least 100 likes on the YouTube page. So help a couple brothers out here. If you love the gun guy, if you love me, hell, if you love Corbin, like the live stream at WIBC.com of the Hammer and Nigel show.
Awesome.
JMV for Sundown Gardens and Miss M's Home and Garden at both locations this week. Get 20% off container trees and shrubs and 30% off bald and burlap evergreens. North at Sundown Gardens only, 50% off bald and burlap shade trees. South at Miss M's only, 20% off patio furniture. Mums continue to arrive daily. Sundown Gardens, 186th and Spring Mill Road in Westfield. That's sundowngardens.com. Miss M's Home and Garden, State Road 135 in Bargersville. MissM'sHomeandGarden.com.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A shooting in broad daylight. It's partly sunny and 95. Low 70s tonight. I'm Donnie Burgess. Here's what's trending at 4:31. A man is stable after being shot at the Kroger on East 16th Street near Central Avenue this afternoon. This woman was there for it all.
Oh, they were right next to me, like from where you are to me, right by my vehicle. That's why they had me interviewed, because I'm the one that called 911.
No arrests have been made yet, says IMPD. He was shot in Pennsylvania, but can't seem to stop holding rallies there. Former President Trump is in Cambria County.
This is his fourth visit to Pennsylvania in just the last month. Yesterday, he went to Michigan and Wisconsin. And in Michigan, the former president making a surprise announcement saying that if he's elected president, women would get free IVF or in vitro fertilization.
The government is going to pay for it, or we're going to get or mandate your insurance company to pay for it.
Fox's Brian Yennis reporting. The saying, what goes up must come down, applies to gas prices in Indiana.
We could see a price cycle back next week, potentially back up to, say, $3.39 or $3.49 a gallon.
Gas Buddy's head of petroleum analysis, Patrick DeHaan, says stations across Indiana will start changing over to winter blend gasoline, which is cheaper. He says that will also help drive prices down. 90-degree days in this weekend.
We're expecting much cooler weather actually for the weekend. The front's going to pass through tonight into early tomorrow. That's going to bring high temperatures for us tomorrow in the low 80s, and then we're going to be kind of staying in the low to mid 80s through early next week.
That's forecaster Andrew White. Indiana Pacers guard T.J. McConnell has signed a contract extension to stay with the team.
And it's a 4-year, $45 million extension. I'm John Herrick. That's according to ESPN. McConnell's coming off a season where he averaged a career high in scoring during the regular season at 10 points a game. Then he increased it to 12 points a game during the playoffs. McConnell joined Hall of Famer Michael Cooper as the only players to average at least 10 points and 5 assists off the bench in a single postseason. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And the closing bell report on 93 WIBC. The Dow Jones had a good day, up 228 points, finishing at 41,563. The NASDAQ also in the positive, up 197 to 17,713 points. And the S&P 500 up 56 points, finishing the day at 5,648. WIBC News Time 4:33. Traffic and weather coming up in 1 minute.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, over 3 million people called Morgan & Morgan in their time of need. And with over 1 million of those calls coming from previous clients, friends, and family.
My name is Jason Williams. It was a rainy day, and I got hit from behind by a lady that was doing somewhere over 100 miles an hour is what they were saying. I've never dealt with anything like this before. Everybody that I talked to kept saying the same name, which was Morgan & Morgan. I was on hold for maybe 15 seconds. When they come back and said, Jason, we will absolutely take your case. As a non-tech savvy guy, any question that I had, if I called, text, or emailed, they got right back to me. They made it as easy for me as it could have been.
Thank you for trusting us. We've become the largest injury firm in the world because we've won a lot. The word is out. Size matters. Reputation matters. We're America's largest injury law firm for a reason. With over 900 dedicated attorneys and climbing, we're ready wherever you are, whatever you need. The choice is easy. We're just a phone call away. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
With traffic, how are the roads, Matt Bear?
Crash cleanup continues downtown. It's eastbound 70 in Meridian, Illinois, and that has the 2 left lanes blocked, stopping traffic back to Tibbs Avenue. 40-minute delay right now. On the north side, eastbound 465 stop-and-go traffic from Keystone over to Allisonville Road. Inbound 65 stop-and-go 29th to Meridian Penn. South side, eastbound 465 slows from 70 over to Man Road and again from 31 over to Emerson Avenue. Traffic sponsored by BJ's Wholesale Club. BJ's Wholesale Club is opening soon in Carmel. At BJ's, members get up to 25% off grocery store prices every day. Visit bjs.com/Carmel or the membership center at Rangeline Crossing Plaza to join today. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
We're going to be partly cloudy this Friday evening with late showers or thunderstorms possible. About a 40% chance of rain in your local neighborhood. Low temperatures drop to 72 degrees overnight, and winds will be out of the west-northwest at 5-10 miles per hour. Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Donnie Burgess, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel Show.
Guy Relford filling in for Big Nige. I'm Jason Hammer. Guy, a couple of these stories about children feel like they should be a bigger deal.
Yeah.
Because if you watch all of the national news outlets today, you're seeing reviews of Kamala Harris's interview last night, which we're just as guilty of. We're not national, but we do the same stuff. I'll admit it. You're watching Donald Trump rally, Kamala Harris rally. We're talking about polling. But there are two really big stories that are just heartbreaking and unbelievable, and they're not getting the attention I think they deserve. One of them is this scathing report from the Justice Department. This watchdog group says that the FBI has mishandled multiple cases involving child sex abuse. Now, this report was from cases from 2021 to 2023, and they found dozens of these cases where the FBI failed to take proper investigative steps or did not report the allegations at all to local law enforcement. Now, this report was launched after it was found that the FBI completely screwed up and botched the investigation into Larry Nassar, the creeper from Michigan State who was the doctor probably best well known for inappropriate actions against the gymnast women. And listen, Guy, you and I both rip on the Indy Star quite a bit, but I will tip my hat where credit is due. That report they had about Larry Nassar and all of that stuff going on with Indy Gymnastics, USA Gymnastics, that was amazing.
That was. They really broke that story and led to that investigation, resulting in a finding that, 150 young women had actually been abused by this guy?
Right. And earlier this year, the Justice Department agreed to a nearly $140 million settlement with all of Nassar's victims. So that's the Justice Department. And that's on the heels of the report that we talked about a couple days ago. I know Tony Katz has really been fired up about this. This report from the Office of the U.S. Inspector General that 300,000 plus missing children are from the Biden-Harris open border policy. 300,000 children that you have absolutely no idea where they're at. Could be being ran by cartels, coyotes, sex trafficking. Like, I feel like these two stories, this Inspector General story and the watchdog group from the Justice Department, the mishandling of the sex abuse cases, these are pretty important.
They are. They're both huge. And on the FBI segment of that in particular, Jason, what kills me is if you've suffered a national embarrassment and paid a huge settlement, and by the way, to get that kind of a settlement in a lawsuit against the federal government, you have to overcome qualified immunity. I mean, there's a lot of hurdles you need to get over to sue the government and get that kind of a verdict or settlement in this case. And that's a big, big deal. So you've suffered this national embarrassment, the FBI, one of many FBI national embarrassments. But on this, and the victims here were abused children that you failed to follow up on, failed to put, people in jail who were committing these horrible crimes. And you would think a huge priority would become to fix that within your own shop, make this a priority, and not let that happen again. And this report comes out, and an exact opposite has happened. They've continued to do exactly what they did in the Larry Nassar case. I don't know how that's forgivable. I don't know how there's any plausible excuse for that.
And these 300,000 missing children. Guy, I'm old enough to remember when Rachel Maddow was crying on the air because Donald Trump had kids in cages.
Yeah, right.
Even though the cages were put there from the previous administration, from Obama and Biden. And you look at what's happening now, the kids were safer in these cages. I mean, they at least weren't being trafficked at that point. And you had Rachel Maddow crying on the air, AOC and the Democrats going to the border, the all-white suit, the big red lipstick, the photo shoot, the fake crocodile tears. 300,000 missing children, and I haven't heard a damn word.
Oh yeah, and the Democrats are the party, right? They're the ones who empathize, right? They're all about people. They're all about feelings. Yet they're totally okay with a wide open border that allows hundreds of thousands of children to be trafficked without limitation in this country, and that's okay. In fact, if it gets them a few Democrat votes, all in favor. There's, again, no excuse for that either.
Guy Relford filling in for Big Nige today. So we've talked a lot about Kamala Harris, the interview that she did with CNN last night. She wasn't alone. Tim Walz was there too. And he got asked more difficult questions than Kamala did. So if we're going to talk about old balls Tim Walz, we need the official Tim Walz music.
Joe Biden's got old balls. Chuck Schumer has old balls. Mitch McConnell has old balls. Bernie Sanders has old balls. Dirty, saggy balls. Pelosi has old balls. But Tim Walz has the oldest balls of them all.
Like, I get Donald Trump is pretty old, but Tim Walz just looks decrepit sometimes. Like, he just looks old. And last night, he was part of this tag team interview with Kamala Harris for some reason. And CNN's Dana Bash asked him about the stolen valor scandal. Tim Walz talks about his record, but if you listen closely, Guy, he doesn't really answer the question.
Yep.
You said that you carried weapons in war, but you have never deployed actually in a war zone. A campaign official said that you misspoke. Did you?
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly proud. I've done 24 years of wearing the uniform of this country. Equally proud of my service in a public school classroom, whether it's Congress or the governor. My record speaks for itself, but I think people are coming to get to know me. I speak like they do. I speak candidly. I wear my emotions on my sleeves, and I speak especially passionately about our children being shot in schools and around guns. So I think people know me. They know who I am. They know where my heart is. And again, my record has been out there for over 40 years to speak for itself.
And the idea that you said that you were in war, did you misspeak as the campaign has said?
Yeah, I said we were talking about, in this case, this was after a school shooting, the ideas of carrying these weapons of war. And my wife, the English teacher, told me my grammar's not always correct.
You could tell, Guy, he was coached up. Just talk about school shootings.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't hear an answer to the controversy. Did you?
No. And in fact, I mean, it's a very direct question. You said you carried a rifle in war. Did you lie? Or was that the truth? I mean, I'm sorry, there's only one answer to that question. It was a bold-faced lie.
Not the first controversy for old balls Tim Walz. Dana Bash asking him about lying using IVF, and then she brings up him getting popped for a DUI back in the day.
You had to clarify that you had said that you and your wife used IVF, but it turned out you used a different kind of fertility in order to have children. And then when you ran for Congress in 2006, your campaign repeatedly made false statements about a 1995 arrest for drunk and reckless driving. What do you say to voters who aren't sure whether they can take you at your word?
Well, I've been very public. I think they can see my students come out, former folks I've served with, and they vouch for me. I certainly own my mistakes when I make them. The one thing I'll tell you is I wished in this country wouldn't have to do this. I spoke about our infertility issues because it's hell, and families know this. And I spoke about the treatments that were available to us that had those beautiful children there. That's quite a contrast in folks that are trying to take those rights away from us. And so I think people know who I am. They know that record. They've seen that. I've taught thousands of students. I've been out there. And I won't apologize for speaking passionately, whether it's guns in schools or protecting of reproductive rights. The contrast could not be clearer between what we're running against. The vice president's position on this has been clear. And I think most Americans get it if you've been through that. I don't think they're cutting hairs on IVF or IUI. I think what they're cutting hairs on is an abortion ban and the ability to be able to deny families the chance to have a beautiful child.
Again, Guy, I ask you, did you hear an answer?
No. And isn't there a fundamental difference between speaking passionately, quote unquote, and speaking falsely? And how can you just brush past that? I mean, how can you not have an answer for that? And listen, I would have a lot more respect for him. It wouldn't be a great amount, but it'd be more than I do now if he'd just say, look, I misspoke. I was caught up in the moment. What I said was not accurate, and I apologize to all those people who actually did go see combat and put their, lives on the line, put themselves in harm's way for their country. I didn't do that. I respect those people. I apologize if I dishonored them in any way. I'd have a lot more respect for him if that happened.
It seems like we're starting to mount up the lies from Tim Walz now, from being in war to the IVF stuff, even the stupid things like on Twitter. People pointed out that he's got pictures with different dogs, but he says that it's the same one, Scout. Now, unless he names every single dog he has Scout.
Right. Which is possible, I guess.
Maybe, I don't know. But this dude just seems like a serial liar.
Exactly.
And by the way, Trump yesterday at a rally promising full insurance coverage for in vitro fertilization, the IVF, paid for either by the government or the insurance companies. So we'll see how that plays out. All right, coming up next, the crazy coupon lady, Crystal Hammer. She has got some deals for you. Labor Day weekend, cookout food, football watching food. The crazy coupon lady. She's next.
Whether you're dropping them off for their first day of school or they're driving themselves for the first time, we know you have enough on your mind. That's why Hubler's got you and your family covered for 100,000 miles. So head back to school in a Hubler Q-certified vehicle, including a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report. Shop any of our 12 locations and choose from Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. Over 2,000 vehicles. All makes, all models, certified vehicles, luxury vehicles, even the hard-to-find ones. Head back to school with peace of mind, knowing Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles.
Hubler's got you covered.
Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations.
Hubler's got you covered.
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251.
Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
As fall approaches, you have a lot to prepare for. Back to school, sporting events, family gatherings, and staying on top of your health. The virus that causes COVID-19 continues to evolve. So this fall, no matter what you're prepping for, you can prioritize your family's health and make a game plan for COVID-19 vaccination. Ask your doctor or pharmacist to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Indiana Digital Learning School is the perfect choice for students who desire an academic challenge with an educational plan tailored to their individual needs. Does your child need an education more in tune with their learning style? Do you have an advanced teen who would benefit from dual enrollment opportunities to earn high school and college credits? Indiana Digital Learning School is a tuition-free online public school now enrolling for the 2024-2025 school year. Learn more at k12.com/INDLS.
Have you lost Indiana Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
all covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Pierce Jewelers is the best family-owned jewelry store in Carmel. All jewelry and watch repair, appraisals, and custom design are done in-house. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
The financial advisor industry is a flawed system. Find out how to fight back and protect your retirement on Expedition Retirement. Sunday mornings at 7 on WIBC.
It's not too late to get the backyard of your dreams this year. Expand your living space with an Indy Decorative Concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care.
Join Tony Katz this Saturday from 2 till 6 at Premier Arms in Brownsburg, featuring Fingers Malloy from Eat, Drink, Smoke, Guy Relford the Gun Guy, food, drinks, plus live and silent auctions benefiting the VFW Department of Indiana.
Matt Baer, what's up?
Eastbound 70 crash at Meridian, Illinois. 2 left lanes are closed. Backing up traffic to Tibbs Avenue. This is delay time of 43 minutes. Inbound 65 stop and go from 29th at 2 Meridian Penn. South side eastbound 465 slows from 70 over to Emerson Avenue with a crash on the west side Rockville Road west of High School Road. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. It's not too late to get the backyard of your dreams this year. Expand your living space with an Indy Decorative Concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
93 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, and it's time for the Crazy Coupon Lady.
Aw, jeez, you guys are freaking me out!
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
Stop it.
She saves you money and she drives me insane, but you gotta love her. She is my better half, Crystal Hammer, the Crazy Coupon Lady. How are you, dear?
I am good, and I think you drive me crazier than I drive you crazy.
Well, tomato, I don't know. But all I know is that we've got a long weekend. It's Labor Day weekend. A lot of people are off on Monday. So we're going to cook out. We're going to drink some booze. We're going to watch some college football. Get me started here. What are some things that we can put on the grill, make in the kitchen? Let's rock and roll.
Okay, well, again, we're going to my favorite store, Kroger. We're going to make sure that we have our Kroger app and that our Kroger card is linked to the app so that we can clip these coupons to get these deals, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to start with, it's kind of the same scenario for any kind of cookout. The Kroger brats are on sale. You can get those in classic, hot Italian, beer brats, cheddar. They've got all kinds of different types of brats that you can get. They're normally $5 a package. With that weekly digital deal coupon, you're going to get those for $2.99 a package.
Okay, rapid fire. I ran a little long the last break because, as you know, I have a tendency not to shut up. So rapid fire. What else we got, baby girl?
Okay.
Let's go.
All right, the next one, we got some Nathan's hot dogs. I know we can get hot dogs cheaper, but I'm sorry, I'm bougie, and if I'm going to eat hot dogs, I want to eat good ones that I like, and they're normally $5.29 a package. With that coupon, they're $2.99 a package. You also have your Lay's potato chips, normally $3.99 a package. With that coupon, they're just $1.99 a package. And this time I'm going with the Private Select bread because they have the sweet Hawaiian hot dog buns. Sweet Hawaiian hot dog buns sound great. They're normally $3.79 a package. They're on sale for $1.99 a package. We also have our seedless watermelon. You might as well get it because pretty soon they're going to be so outrageous you won't be able to afford them. They're normally $5.99 a watermelon. They are on sale for $2.99 a watermelon. So there we have our meat, we have our bread, we have our chips, we have watermelon. If you want to go a little bit more bougier and you want some ribeye steaks, they're normally $11.99 a pound. They're on sale for $8.99. And then don't forget the Coke and Pepsi's 12 packs, which I just cannot believe a 12 pack is $10, $9.99 a 12 pack. But they are buy two, get three free. So definitely stock up on that. You could do that deal twice. So up to 10, 12 packs if you want.
So what's that saving breakout to?
So if it were for us and I'm cooking for all four of us, I'm going to get 3 packages of brats, 2 packages of hot dogs, 3 packages of buns, 3 bags of chips, 1 watermelon, and 5 12-packs of drinks. Without coupons, that would have been $104. With the coupons, it's $49.86.
Wow.
Let's go.
That's amazing.
Savings.
I'm feeling kind of stupid for the $130 brisket I just bought.
No, but I bet that's delicious.
Crystal, we've got less than a minute here. We've got the food. Get me drunk. What do we have?
Well, I had to do some shopping on that because, as you know, we have a home bar and we're a little low on some stuff. So I did find some Maker's Mark whiskey on sale, normally $38.99. It's on sale for $24.99.
All right.
Cheetos handmade vodka, normally $40. It's the 1.75 bottle, $48.99 a bottle, on sale for $29.99 a bottle. That's a great deal. Also, the Bacardi Super Rum, regularly $35.99, on sale for $21.99. And your favorite, Coors Light or Miller Lite, 24-pack cans, normally $24.99, on sale for $16.99 a 12-pack.
I'm here for it.
24-pack.
I am here for it. You are the absolute best. We got Tennessee football to watch tomorrow. We got Notre Dame football to watch tomorrow. And we're going to eat, we're going to drink, and you are the best. I will see you later tonight.
All right, guys. Talk to you later.
See ya. The crazy coupon lady, my better half, that's Crystal Hammer. Top stories coming up next.
Summer is upon us. Soon you'll be taking trips, going to your favorite restaurants, getting ice cream, and spending time with friends. But let's face it, your home needs attention this summer too. And summer fun can add up. Have you ignored your drywall cracks, uneven, sagging, or bouncing floors, stuck windows and doors, bugs and pests, wet basement, heightened indoor allergies, mold and mildew smells? Don't worry. With a free inspection from Indiana Foundation Service, you can find out what you need to do to protect your home and your family by pinpointing your home's issues at the source. Indiana Foundation Service has flexible financing plans for you to take advantage of, saving you money that you can spend elsewhere. They want you to feel comfortable when fixing your problems and making a solid investment towards your home's future. Just visit IndianaFoundation.com today and schedule local experts to come take a quick look. Indiana Foundation Service. There's a reason they are the trusted local experts.
Indiana Foundation Service. Reliability from the ground up.
According to a 2023 Gallup poll, 71% of non-retired adults are worried about retirement saving. At Howard Bailey Financial, we don't believe retiring with confidence should be guesswork. In fact, our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we provide our Retire with Purpose Toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you won't outlive. To receive your complimentary toolkit, text CLARITY to 866-482-9559. Take a step toward a more confident retirement with Howard Bailey Financial and text CLARITY to 866-482-9559.
This endorsement was not provided by a client of Howard Bailey. This individual was compensated for this endorsement. For more information, visit howardbailey.com/TS1.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure.
Now, 1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Tune in to the Absolute Retirement Planning Show.
When retirement comes about, we're now relying on what we have saved to meet those needs.
Sundays at 9 a.m. right here on 93 WIBC.
Your local news coming up from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock. We join Fox News in Progress.
Values haven't changed. Just before taking the stage in Pennsylvania, Trump spoke with Fox's Brian Yennis, telling him he'll vote against a proposed amendment in Florida, where he lives, an amendment that would limit the government's involvement in abortions.
The former president also would not commit to signing or vetoing a federal abortion ban if it landed on his desk. This is significant because his running mate, J.D. Vance, on Sunday said that he would actually veto that ban.
And Trump has said abortion rights should be up to the states. The Harris campaign is warning voters he will pursue a federal ban. One of two doctors charged in the overdose death of actor Matthew Perry has reached a plea deal in California, but did not enter a plea in court today. Federal prosecutors say Dr. Mark Chavez obtained ketamine from his former clinic and a wholesale distributor using a fraudulent prescription.
The medical examiner ruled ketamine was the primary cause of death. Perry had apparently been using ketamine in a legal but off-label treatment for depression, but he wanted more than his own doctor would give him. And Dr. Mark Chavez was, according to prosecutors, one of those who helped supply him. Chavez was asked by another doctor, Salvador Plasencia, to help get the ketamine.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt in L.A. Two others charged in the case have already pleaded guilty, including Perry's personal assistant. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
She thought she was about to be shot. Good afternoon. You've got 95 degrees, low 72 tonight. I'm Donnie Burgess. Here's what's trending at 5:02. A man was shot in a Kroger parking lot on East 16th Street in Indianapolis this afternoon. This woman dialed 911, then hopped on the phone with WIBC to say the suspect ran right by her.
I thought he was going to shoot me in the head because he saw me calling 911. He just didn't care. He was so focused on shooting at that guy. It was personal. They definitely wanted him dead.
Indy Metro Police say the victim is stable. No word on any arrests. Gas prices might not feel cheap, but you might be surprised by the progress. Here's John Herrick.
Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan breaks down the numbers.
And average gas prices are just $3.23 a gallon in Indianapolis as we start the weekend. That's 44 cents below last year. The average price now about $3.23 a gallon. That's 28 cents below where we were just a month ago.
Then he says those numbers are similar across the rest of the state. DeHaan expects many gas stations in Indiana to be below $3 a gallon by the fall. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Also dropping are the high temperatures this Labor Day weekend. Ryan Hedrick reports rain moves in Saturday morning.
This means you'll see cooler temperatures Saturday afternoon, which will make it feel like fall in some areas.
Yeah, we look great. We're expecting a high temperature of 77 for the Indianapolis area. You get closer to northern Indiana, it may struggle to get out of the low 70s. With dew points in the 50s, going to feel pretty good.
Andrew White from the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says some of those storms will bring really strong winds. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Indiana Pacers guard T.J. McConnell is sticking with the Circle City. He signed a 4-year, $45 million contract extension, reports ESPN. The team matters more than the individual stats, said McConnell after the Eastern Conference playoffs.
The team success, really, just getting back to the playoffs, that was the goal for us. Just tried to contribute in any way that I could.
And on the football side of things, Indianapolis Colts wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. was named a team captain for the first time in his career. Regular season begins September 8th. WIBC News Time 5:04, traffic and weather up next.
Hey, listen, are you a 50-year-old person looking for term life insurance? Then you need to talk to Bob. Bob specializes in helping people find $1 million or more of term life insurance for a couple of $100 a month. Look, you need to know there's a price war in the term life insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call Bob, and he'll shop and see how much money he can save you. Look, this could be the last term life insurance policy you ever have. Your rates are guaranteed for the next 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rates for the next 20 years. And if you're a smoker or your health is not perfect, Bob has great rates for you too. So for $1 million of term life insurance coverage for a couple of $100 a month, call Bob right now. 800-890-5075. 800-890-5075. 800-890-5075. That's 800-890-5075. Paid for by Term Direct.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Baer.
Yeah, Donnie crashed downtown eastbound at 70 Meridian, Illinois. 2 left lanes are blocked. Traffic is stopped to Tibbs, 51.5, 1 minute delay. Inbound 65 stop and go traffic from MLK to Meridian Penn. Northeast side, eastbound 465, that's stop and go after Westfield Boulevard to Allisonville Road. South side pockets are slow on eastbound 465 from 70 to Emerson. Crash Rockville Road west of High School Road. Traffic sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance offers you auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today. That's Progressive.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And now the forecast, brought to you by the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
This Friday evening, we're looking at partly cloudy skies and a late night shower or thunderstorm possible. Chance of rain about 40%. Low temperatures drop to 72 degrees overnight with winds out of the west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
The Hammer and Nigel Show up next. I'm Donnie Burgess on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
Labor Day weekend, Indianapolis. We're going to officially kick off the weekend coming up at around 5:48 with Beer Sample Friday. Indy's official weekend kickoff. That's coming up in just a little bit. Guy Relford is filling in for Big Nige today. I am Jason Hammer. You just heard him doing the news. And then, just like an Olympic track athlete, he runs around the news studio, barges through the double doors. Here is Donnie Burgess from the WIBC newsroom. Donnie, my man, well done.
And hey, the magic of radio, no one knows I have a big boot on my foot, so I hobbled in here. But I'm here to give you the news.
You were running around with that boot on, and it looked like Kirk Gibson after he hit that iconic home run for the Dodgers, where he's hobbling around the bases, kind of pumping the elbow and pumping the fist. That was Donnie trying to get in here for this segment. All right. Joking aside, because this is an important story, it's a serious story, we bring you in when we have updates on the Delphi murders. Probably the most high-profile case, maybe in the history of the state of Indiana, scheduled to happen in October. But before we get there, we've had a number of different hearings that the defense and the prosecution wanted the judge to make a ruling on. So, Donnie, catch us up to speed here. What did we find out yesterday?
Oh, biggest thing this week is that the confessions that you have heard about that Richard Allen has apparently made in prison since his arrest in October of 2022, the number was something like 61 confessions to killing Abigail Williams and Liberty German. Those confessions will be allowed at trial come October 14th, the start date of the trial. So everything that he has said to family, to prison staff, to prisoners, to wardens, anyone during a certain amount of time when he was making continuous confessions, those will be before the jury.
Now, this is something that I assume the defense did not want to have happen. No. Has the defense won any of these situations in court so far, Donnie?
Well, they've won some. I can't. I'd imagine if you stack the wins, one side looks a little higher than the other. I mean, just today, about an hour ago, the judge did approve their request to shrink the discovery time. There's a little bit of a time limit thing. They're trying to get things wrapped up quick before the trial. So that's kind of a win. But no, this is a big one. They did not want Richard Allen's confessions in.
Now, these confessions, and we've talked about this a lot on the show, he has stated that he shot these girls, but the information that we've received from the coroner's office proved that that was a lie. These girls were not shot. They were stabbed to death, bodily injury that way. Mm-hmm. So even though he's confessing to these things that may not be true, it's still going to be allowed in the trial.
Which makes it a very interesting piece on the puzzle for every side, both defense and prosecution as well.
Yeah, and just so you guys know a little bit about how this works, typically out-of-court statements we consider hearsay. They're not admissible at trial. A big exception to that is an admission of a party. And if you make an admission, that's an exception to the hearsay rules. But to be an admission, it has to be freely and voluntarily given. And that's where that's where Donnie's point is dead on, which
now,
is...
I'm not a lawyer, but it sounds like those were some important words that you just rattled off right there.
Well, to Guy's point, Judge Fran Gall, she decided that the defense did not put up a good enough support for their claims that Richard Allen was coerced, intimidated, or statements were given when he was completely mentally unstable. So to your point.
Yes, because if you're mentally unstable, you're not freely and voluntarily making an admission. If you're coerced, you're beaten into it, or you're starved until you get, or who knows what the arguments were. I don't know. Donnie does, but if you're coerced and it's not freely and voluntarily given, it's not really an admission. Therefore, it's inadmissible. So this is all about whether an admission that is an exception to the hearsay rule is admissible if it's freely and voluntarily given.
So if somebody is viewed as not in their right mind mentally, that's not freely confessing something.
Exactly.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, Donnie, what we've learned throughout the process of this, trial and hearings, we haven't really got to the trial yet, but these hearings, there were reports that Richard Allen was eating his own feces, was just a basket case in here, lost a bunch of weight, went on like a hunger strike. So I think a case could be made that maybe he wasn't in his right mind.
And this is where it could, there's a few things that could help the defense with this, actually. Number one is what you just said. If they can prove during this period of time that Richard Allen was completely mentally unstable, like you said, eating his own feces. These things have been testified to in court, eating court documents, trying to harm himself. I mean, there was a group of prisoners that were assigned to watch him, and then he lost a bunch of weight. And then I believe it was earlier this year, late last year, he started getting medicated. He was seeing psychologists. He gained a lot of his weight back, and he stopped making those confessions when those things happened. And so that it could help the defense out. And then, of course, you brought up earlier the false confessions, the confessions that have inaccurate, incorrect details might also play into their hand.
Donnie, has the defense filed a notice that they're going to rely on an insanity defense at trial? Or is there a total defense that he just didn't do it and the government can't prove that he did? Or are they going to actually make, because that's something you have to file a notice for. You can't just show up in court and go, oh, our guy's crazy. You have to file a notice and let the prosecution know that you're relying on that defense. Do you know if they've done that yet?
They have continued to lean on the brick wall of support that is Odinism and third-party suspects.
Gotcha.
They have relied on that being the answer as to what happened to the girls in February 2017. The condition of Richard Allen has just been an aside or something that has been added on to since he was arrested.
It makes sense, because as a trial lawyer, you kind of need to choose. Because it's not necessarily a winning strategy to say, my guy didn't do it, my guy didn't do it, my guy didn't do it. Oh, but if he did it, he's crazy. I mean, that's not typically. You typically need to pick a strategy and go with it as a defense attorney. And it sounds like they're going with creating reasonable doubt of whether he committed the crime at all.
Yeah, that's where they want to go, but that is still the biggest motion out there right now. The judge has to allow those theories into the jury.
And when can we expect that? Because, again, by the time we come back to work next week, it's going to be September. This trial is supposed to begin in October. I'm sure all the attorneys involved want to have time to get their ducks in a row here. We're still waiting on things from Judge Gall.
Yeah, I will say, though, this is the closest we have ever been. We are almost there, and not just in a time sense, but also almost every single motion has been taken care of at this point. The defense and prosecution were ordered to, exchange their exhibits and make sure everyone has all the information. A whole list of attorneys that have participated in this case since 2022 were asked to finally, recuse, or that may not be the correct word, but now they're out of the way. Judge Gall has approved these shortened time limits on discovery. We all seem to be going there, but the big thing is, if they cannot introduce Odinism or third-party suspects, this could be an ultimate uphill for the defense.
Donnie Burgess joining us from the WIBC newsroom. He's been covering the Delphi murders for WIBC. What's the time window on the trial itself? Because it feels like just the things that we've talked about during this segment could take a long time to sort out. I mean, there are big philosophical differences here. When was he in his right mind? Was he in his right mind when he said this or that? This is just one little layer to the story. We still have the fact that 2 little girls were murdered. I mean, there's so much stuff to go over. What's the time frame for this trial?
The trial is set for now. Monday, October 14th is the kickoff date, and it will go through November 15th. About 6 days a week, over 8 hours a day expected in court in Carroll County.
So basically a month is what we've got to sort all of this out.
This is extended because the trial was originally going to happen in May, but the defense said they needed more time. So now we have an extended trial that will take place here in about a month and a half.
So, Guy, again, I'm not an attorney. You are. You're not, criminal defense per se, but from an attorney's
perspective. No, I defend criminal cases all the time.
Okay, I apologize. From an attorney's perspective here, what are you seeing from the prosecution and the defense early on here?
Well, the defense, again, I'm on the outside looking in, and so I don't want to sound critical. And by the way, Donnie's coverage on this has been so spot on.
Absolutely.
I mean, he is the source to go to for information on this case. But the defense seems to kind of be throwing a lot of stuff against the wall and trying to see what sticks. I mean, let's get the judge off the case. Well, that didn't work. It's just like they keep trying different avenues, a lot of which have not been successful. Given alternative suspects, a jury, if they think there's a viable chance other people committed this crime and not Richard Allen, that to me is a solid strategy if they have the evidence to back it up. And a judge is going to be really hard pressed, if there's really any credible evidence at all on that point, to keep that out, because as a defendant, you have a fundamental right to give an alternative theory to the fact, to the allegation that your client committed this crime by giving them evidence that someone else did. That's the best conceivable way of creating reasonable doubt in the minds of the jury.
Now, from the defense perspective here, let's say, for argument's sake, things do not go well during the trial. Like, it feels like already they can say, we need to have an appeal. This judge has had it out for us from the very beginning. We can clearly prove that our client was not in his right mind when he made these confessions. They should have been thrown out. You allowed them in. It feels like we can already see that, right?
Well, every one of those rulings can be the subject of an appeal later on. In other words, if the fact that this judge ruled against the defense on the admissibility of these alleged confessions, that's a perfect appellate issue. That's a pure legal question. The judge made a legal decision, and the Court of Appeals can review that. Ultimately, the Indiana Supreme Court could review that. So any of these rulings that the defense says prejudices their ability to defend their client, if it turns out to be a legal error, that's a basis to appeal the case and could lead to a new trial, could lead to a dismissal, theoretically, if it's severe enough.
So what's next, Donnie?
Well, at this point, from what I've been able to gather from people I've talked to, if the defense does have the Odinism and third-party suspect thing thrown out, the other strategy that they have already implemented, but the last thing they really have to lean on is challenge the state's timeline of the actual killings to try and prove Allen was not there. So that is their next best thing. I'm going to go hit refresh on my web browser as much as I can to see if they make any decisions today, but if not, look for something in the next week or so from the judge.
And where can we find that information?
You can always get it at WIBC.com.
Donnie Burgess from the WIBC Newsroom. Donnie, awesome stuff. Well done.
Great job, Donnie.
Matt Bear standing by in the WIBC Traffic Center.
West Side crash, northbound 465 on the exit to West 38th Street. Now it looks like the exit is blocked, but you can still exit to West 38th going northbound by safely merging through the Gore Point after the crash. Please be careful. We are slow back to 74 Crawfordsville Road. Crash cleanup continues downtown. This is eastbound 70 at Meridian, Illinois. 2 left lanes blocked. Traffic stopped. Back to Tibbs Avenue. Delay time is 47 minutes. Inbound 65 stop and go traffic from MLK to Meridian Street Penn. That's 8 minutes on the time. And northbound 465 slows after East 56th Street up to 75th. Traffic sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance offers you auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today. That's Progressive.com today. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
I got Guy Relford giving me crap here. You know I'm a defense attorney. Come on. I meant to say like major homicide type trials and stuff like that. That's what I meant.
I got an attempted murder case I'm defending right now.
Really?
Man. Come on. Yeah.
Like most people just assume you're 2A gun stuff defending gun rights, but you get down into some nasty stuff from time to time with these homicide trials, too.
Well, absolutely. Well, and plus my forte, I mean, what I teach other lawyers how to do is how to defend a self-defense case. So that's really where my practice focuses, and I've been teaching the law of self-defense for a long time, and that's what I practice. So that can definitely come in.
94 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Going to be a hot one tonight if you're going out to high school football games. Maybe you're going to the NHRA Nationals. Just be careful. Coming up next, are you okay with this? Come on back.
Whether you're dropping them off for their first day of school or they're driving themselves for the first time, we know you have enough on your mind. That's why Hubler's got you and your family covered for 100,000 miles. So head back to school in a Hubler Q-certified vehicle, including a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report. Shop any of our 12 locations and choose from Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. Over 2,000 vehicles. All makes, all models, certified vehicles, luxury vehicles, even the hard-to-find ones. Head back to school with peace of mind, knowing Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles.
Hubler's got you covered.
Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations.
Hubler's got you covered.
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
When you have a stuffy nose, life can be a bit unpleasant. Some live every day with a stuffy nose, and that can make life downright miserable. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula with Advent, where we are committed to eliminating your nasal breathing problems with simple in-office procedures like balloon sinuplasty, which requires no surgical cuts, little to no downtime, and can have you breathing better in less than 30 minutes. At Advent, we understand your inability to breathe freely limits your quality of life. And that's why we continue to pioneer the most advanced in-office procedures that have made our practice a global destination for those seeking to live their highest quality of life. Visit AdventKnows.com to see if you're a candidate for the balloon sinuplasty procedure. Because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
Tire Discounters announces our latest breakthrough, TD Chat BS. This software allows us to detect untruths, deceptions, and even outright lies. Let's listen in as we call a local car dealer.
Hi, I drive your model of auto or truck. I need servicing.
Oh, that's great. You should always call the dealer for service to make sure your warranty stays intact.
Untruth.
Excuse me?
I can attend at Tire Discounters for all services,
No,
even
but-
for all manufacturers' scheduled maintenance. Warranty not affected.
But it's only us dealers who really know our own models.
Deception. Tire Discounters ASE technicians are certified experts for all makes and models.
Okay, maybe.
How many dollars do you charge me for? As few as Tire Discounters?
We are not that much more.
Outright lie. Ending call now. Bye.
No, but-
Adios. Aloha. Hasta la pasta.
Don't miss our Savor the Summer sale, now till Labor Day.
Hey, checking in?
This is not just your flu shot appointment at Walgreens.
Yes.
This is getting your entire family vaccinated in one trip.
Hey, Mom?
And a snack on the way out. Get flu shots for everyone in your family, together. Schedule appointments online today. This is wellness made easy. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability and for ages 3+. State and health-related restrictions may apply.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
This hour on WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, designers of fine custom jewelry.
Are you really okay with this?
Are you okay?
Everything
Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah!
Guy, are you okay with this? McDonald's is reportedly getting ready to roll out chicken Big Macs nationwide. According to social media food blogger Snackalator, McDonald's is going to officially add the chicken Big Mac to their menu in 2024. The chicken Big Mac is going to be the exact same as a regular Big Mac, but instead of all beef patties, you get chicken patties. They've tested this in the UK, Ireland, and select U.S. markets. It's been a big hit, but are you okay with it?
Yeah, well, I'm okay with it, Jason, because it's just completely irrelevant to me. I mean, that's the last thing I'm going to put in my body is any form of Big Mac from McDonald's.
When was the last time you went on a fast food bender, Guy? Because you're an in-shape dude. Like you and Matt Bear both just make me feel horrible about myself.
Oh, well, listen, I'm not nearly in the shape Matt Bear is, and it's probably because I like beer. I sounded like one of our Supreme Court justices when I said that. But I don't eat fast food. Occasionally I've been on a really long road trip. It's 2 a.m. I'm stopping for gas, and you go in there and there's an Arby's at the gas station. Okay, I'll go in there and get some roast beef. But beyond that, I don't know. My wife makes me go through the drive-thru at McDonald's every now and then just for a vanilla ice cream cone.
How often is it broken?
Oh, well, usually, yeah. But no, I don't know. It's not a superiority thing. It's just something I don't care to eat.
Okay. Well, then I kind of know where you're going to go with this one, but I'm going to run it by you anyway. On the subject of McDonald's, a new survey found the discontinued fast food items that people miss the most are carne asada at Chipotle, Brooklyn-style pizza at Domino's, the Taco Bell Enchilada, and the McRib from McDonald's. Are you okay with this survey saying these are the discontinued items that we miss the most?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm okay with it. People like what they like. I laugh about the McRib because I see excitement. And I think I had one as a teenager once, which obviously was a hell of a long time ago when they first came out. But it's pressed pork into the shape of some ribs with some barbecue sauce on it. Hey, I'm a guy that will spend 6 hours smoking some racks of baby backs, and I take this stuff seriously. And the fact that people get excited about some pressed pork shaped like ribs, sorry, no.
Some people get excited for it, and by some people, I mean me. Yes, listen, I don't always have time for a 6-hour smoke session, Guy.
That's fair.
I got places to be, and I know damn well that the McRib is not going to be some seasonal thing.
Is it really good, though? I mean, you enjoy it.
It's okay. Like, nothing you get from fast food is going to make you say, oh, this is so much better than anything I could have made at home. But sometimes time is a factor.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, Corbin, we had a story about me and the McRib a couple years ago because they kept trying to say, this is the last time, right? We're only going to put it on the menu for one more time. We all know that's bullcrap because they do this trick every single year. Mm-hmm. So I had this rant that's been dubbed as the battle cry of the McRib, and I'm going to share that with you right now. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the bullcrap of fast food marketing campaigns, we must stand firm and united and say, not today, pal. We saw this with the Mexican pizza, and as George W. Bush once said, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me, we won't be fooled again. And we're not going to get fooled again by a trick by some 23-year-old marketing worm. We don't need gimmicks to go to McDonald's. You know they're not going to remove the McRib permanently.
Of course not.
Stop it. We will not stand for your lies, your propaganda, and your tyranny, McDonald's. We've been loyal customers for billions and billions of burgers served over years. But if you want to treat us like ignorant children, you can kiss my Big Mac and suck my McNuggets because we're not going to take this anymore. We bought your Happy Meals. We tolerated your shake machine being down 90% of the time. But this is where we draw the line. So I speak on behalf of all McDonald's fatties when we say we hold these truths to be, the thing.
The thing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, that's classic. That's beautiful. But on this seasonal or things that come back or don't, I have a very serious question for you. Have you ever in your adult life consumed a pumpkin spice anything?
Yes, a pumpkin spice blizzard from Dairy Queen.
Okay, all right. I'm not turning my nose up at that.
I don't like any really coffee or lattes.
Yeah.
Like, you'll never find me at Starbucks unless it's like -30 and I've got nothing else to drink.
Yeah,
That's not my thing.
Is the crazy coupon lady, is she a pumpkin spice person? Does she get excited about running to Starbucks for some pumpkin spice?
Not really. She gets excited for Christmas stuff. She wants to put Christmas stuff up right now. God. It's like 95 degrees outside. All right. Can we do a round of Ask the Gun Guy?
Absolutely. I love doing that.
If you've got a question, 2A related, for the best 2A attorney in America, call right now, 239-9393. If you're wondering when you can use your weapon, or maybe you've got questions about how to use your weapon and everything in between, Guy Relford is here for you. 239-9393. Ask the Gun Guy, coming up right after the news with Donnie Burgess.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He says people just don't care about life. You've got 94 degrees. I'm Donnie Burgess. Here's what's trending at 5:30. A man was shot in the parking lot of a Kroger near Central Avenue this afternoon. It's a shame to see violence in front of your eyes, says this eyewitness.
The way that the crime rate has went up in the past few years, it's just like another deal, you know what I mean? People shooting, people walking around, and just people in general just not even paying much attention to what's going on.
The victim is stable at the hospital, expecting more info from police. Police in Arizona investigating the death of an office worker. Police say Denise Prudhomme clocked into work at the Wells Fargo corporate office last Friday and wasn't found until 4 days later. Security discovered her body Tuesday in her cubicle after she never clocked out of work. Filling up your gas tank might become a little less of a headache for you soon.
That's because barring any unforeseen circumstances like a refinery outage or a hurricane, Gas Buddy's head of petroleum analysis, Patrick DeHaan, says prices at the pump should keep dropping across Indiana.
I would say that by later this fall, we are on schedule for potentially seeing more and more stations falling below $3 a gallon for a longer period of time.
One thing he says that helps that is gas stations across the state will start using cheaper winter gasoline in a couple of weeks. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Rain kicks off your weekend, but you can expect a cool Labor Day after that.
Expecting a high temperature of 77 for the Indianapolis area. You get closer to northern Indiana, may struggle to get out of the low 70s. With dew points in the 50s, going to feel pretty good.
Severe weather is possible tonight, says meteorologist Andrew White. A cool weekend has cool things to do, reports Terry Stacy.
Butter at the Stutz continues through Saturday. Also check out Art in the Park Community Enrichment and Music Festival at Garfield Park.
It's a fancy resource fair. Saturate the community with resources. We'll have art exhibitors out there. We lay it on top of a music festival, so we have some of Indy's finest.
Demetrius Bruno says there's free admission noon to 8 at McAllister Amphitheater on Saturday. Terry Stacy, WIBC Mobile News.
Matt Baer, traffic time, what's happening?
Looking at the west side, Downey crash northbound 465 on the exit to west of 38th Street. That crash just cleared. It's still a little bit slow back to 74. Eastbound 70 at Meridian, Illinois. Crash cleanup continues, blocking 2 left lanes, stopping traffic back to Tibbs Avenue, and a delay time of 46 minutes. Crash just happened south side, eastbound 465 at the 65 ramp. Sits in the middle of the interstate, blocking the center lane with a bit of a slow down. There will be a delay there. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. It's not too late to get the backyard of your dreams this year. Expand your living space with an Indy Decorative Concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts, big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Friday evening in Indiana's not looking all too bad. Partly cloudy with a late night shower or storm possible. Chance of rain about 40% in your local neighborhood. Low temperature drops to 72 degrees, and we're looking at a few more morning thunderstorms possible Saturday. Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Donnie Burgess, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang.
Oh, when you hear that music kick in, you know you are in the presence of one big, bald, badass American. And that's what we've got here. Guy Relford filling in for Big Nige. So if you're on hold right now for Ask the Gun Guy, you guys know the rules of engagement here. Do not swear, don't make Corbin hit the dump button, and keep your questions as brief as possible. Capiche? All right, let's rock and roll. Woody is up first. Woody, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel Show. What's your question?
Hey, Guy, I got a quick question for you. Number one, you already gave me a lecture about having blanks in my gun because I don't want any blood to clean up. I just want to hit him in the temple and scare the shit out of him.
Oh, dump button, Corbin, please. Thank you very much. Woody, we're going to have to let you go. We clearly just said, keep it clean. Now, the folks on the YouTube stream and the folks listening on the app, they probably caught that.
Yeah.
And while that kind of language does not really bother Guy and I, we can't have it here on the show.
Nope.
Mike, keep it clean. Mike, what do you got?
Hey, how you guys doing? I have a quick question for you, Guy. I am recently expunged from a couple felonies that I had over 35 years ago. I'd say I'm 5 months into my expungement. I don't show up on anything on my case. When would I be able to go in, get a handgun, possess a handgun? When would I be away from the FBI?
Well, you ought to be able to do it right away, but the way the mechanism actually works, once your expungement's granted and your rights are restored, then hopefully your attorney and or the court sent a copy of that to the Indiana State Police, what they call their expungement desk, and they update your national criminal histories. And as part of that, that gets transmitted to the FBI, and it's up to the FBI to take you out of the NICS database, the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, that shows you as a prohibited possessor. They call that removing the NICS prohibitor. So if everybody's done their job, your lawyer, the court, the state police, and the FBI, you should be absolutely good to go. By the way, I'm a little disappointed you didn't come to me for your expungement, but we'll get past that. But if you have any problem with that, give me a call at the office. Just go through relfordlaw.com because there's an appeal process where you can also fix that.
Jeff is up next. Jeff, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel Show. We got Guy Relford here. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. How you doing? Well, that guy was mainly saying, was asking a question that I was going to ask you, but I'm going to go a little farther. Okay, I had a expungement as well, and I went to a local gun store, and they said they put me on a wait, and they said if it's not back in, I guess, what is it, Mr. Relford, 5 or 7 days, if it's not back, then I can get a gun. But they never came back, but the gun I purchased was already someone already got it. So how does that work? I mean, am I still going to go through the process again as far as the wait, or is it going to be quicker?
Well, the gun store doesn't have to sell you the gun if you don't ever get an approval from the FBI for the background check. So if you're just delayed and it stays delayed, the law says after X number of days. For someone over 21, it's more than 3 full business days. Then they can transfer it to you while you're just on delay, but they don't have to. And a lot of gun stores just say no until we get a proceed. We're not going to do that. If you get delayed, more than once and you're having trouble figuring out why, it makes sense to apply what's called your unique personal identification number, which you can find. Just you go Google UPIN application FBI. You apply for that. You have to send in a set of fingerprints. They do a deep drill on you, make sure you're legal to buy a gun. Then they issue your UPIN, and they mail that to you. They send that to you, and then you put that right on the form you fill out in the gun store when you're buying a gun. That says, basically that tells the government they've done a deep drill on you, and you're good to go to buy the gun.
Up next is Ron. Ron, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel Show. Guy Relford's here.
Yes, sir. Thanks very much. You guys are great. Hey, I got a question. Say somebody decides they want to pull a gun on you, and you take it away from them, or you're wrestling with them, and you manage to get it away and shoot them. What kind of trouble can you get into for shooting them with their own gun?
Well, that's a great question. The law of self-defense says very clearly there has to be an active threat against you at the time that you use force in self-defense. And at the time you use deadly force in self-defense, you have to have a reasonable belief that you're preventing serious bodily injury or the commission of a forcible felony. This is outside the home. Castle Doctrine's a little different. But the point is that when the risk of serious bodily injury or death is over, then your ability to use deadly force in self-defense is also over. So, is the person still trying to hurt you? Are they still trying to kill you? Are they reaching for a different weapon? There are any number of different issues that may affect the answer to this question. But if you've taken the gun away from them, they're retreating, for instance, they're no longer an active threat. The law very clearly says at that point you cannot use force against them, including deadly force, by shooting them with their own gun. And what I say in all my classes, like people listen to my show, hear me pitch my Essentials of Indiana Gun Law class, I make the point over and over in that class every single time I teach it, is I say Indiana has a self-defense statute. What we do not have is a payback statute. So if someone tries to hurt you and you're just mad about it, there's no longer an active threat, but now you're into payback. Now you're committing a crime. So you can defend, you can prevent, you can prevent harm to yourself or others. You can defend yourself or others, but you can't get involved in payback because now you're committing a crime.
Steve is up next. Steve, you got Guy Relford here. Fire away.
Hey, Guy. Love the Hammer and Friends show. Had two quick questions for you. $2 tax on cigarettes. Isn't there something in the Indiana constitutional law about a tax that's undue to a certain people or a certain population of the state? And my second quick question is a Fourth Amendment question, even though Hammer thinks you only know gun laws. I might have multiple cars in my name, and my daughter and my aunt, they keep getting pulled over because they run the license plate. Is that a Fourth Amendment violation? I mean, if my landlord gets a warrant, they can't search my house because I live there and the house is in his name. Am I off base here?
Well, yeah, let me answer that one because I'm not real sure about your first question. You asked me about a cigarette tax? Is that what I heard?
Yes, I thought there was an Indiana law about a tax that targets a specific people. It goes all the way back to 1865.
Yeah, but see, that doesn't necessarily target specific people. It targets a particular product, and that's different because it's up to you whether you use that product or not. So that's probably not going to be an issue in that context. Your other question is, listen, a warrant can only issue upon probable cause. That a search is necessary based on probable cause there's been the commission of a crime. If a court issues a warrant as to a particular location, it doesn't really matter whose name's on the deed because the Fourth Amendment just says warrant shall not issue but upon probable cause. And a warrant is an exception to what we call an unreasonable search or seizure. It is prohibited by the Fourth Amendment. So if for whatever reason, authorities go to a court and say, we need to come search this particular house or this particular property because we have this probable cause, a crime's been committed, and we're going to find evidence at this particular property, and they have that warrant, then, hey, they're going to be able to come search that premises. That's just how that works.
He's the gun guy and the cigarette guy. Look at this guy. He's rocking and rolling today. Let's go to Stuart. Stuart, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show. Go ahead.
Hi. I like your show.
Thank you.
One question. Why don't we see more lawsuits on the right to bear arms in states that's more restrictive than others, like New York? Not that I want to go, but
yeah, no, it's a great question. Why are some states so much more restrictive than others? Is that what I heard you say? No, it's a great question. The thing is, whatever's going on in the states is subject to the Second Amendment challenge. That was the big ruling we got in 2010 in McDonald versus City of Chicago that says the Second Amendment protects an individual right to bear arms that is applicable to state regulations as well as federal regulations. That was a big deal. And so whatever state you're in, whatever laws are passed, it's subject to a Second Amendment challenge. And under this Supreme Court, they've been pretty good. They've hit New York. They've hit several states saying, no, your local laws, your state laws are unconstitutional. But it is within the bounds of the Second Amendment, it is allowable for individual state governments to regulate firearms in different ways. The overall parameters are set by the scope of the Second Amendment.
All right, we got about a minute left here. If we can hustle, we can do this. Charles, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show. It's the speed round. It's the 2-minute offense. Go ahead, Charles.
Hey, love your show. Got a question for you. I live out here in Hancock County, lived out here for decades. Used to shoot my guns all the time. Everybody around me's got at least 3 acres. Last time I shot, the sheriff came over to my house, told me even though I didn't live in city limits, that there was an ordinance that I had to be 100 yards from a dwelling to fire my firearm. Well, between me and my neighbor, that is also a gun owner, we have 100 yards from the next nearest neighbor. Does that qualify us to be able to shoot?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the ordinance they're talking about. I would have to look at it. They can pass those kinds of ordinances to regulate the discharge of a firearm to some degree. But if you want to email me the specifics, if you know the ordinance, there may be other problems with that and subject to challenge on that basis. But I don't know enough about the ordinance right now to give you more information than that.
And where can he email you at?
Just go through the website. It's relfordlaw.com. There's a contact us button on there. It's relfordlaw.com.
Guy, rock and roll. Awesome, man. Your reward is Beer Sample Friday.
Now we're talking.
Next.
The deals keep coming at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. Tony Katz here at Andy Moore Ford. The people, the selection, the service, everything you want. Shop their wide selection of certified pre-owned vehicles, all marked with more savings, so you can be sure you're driving home with the best deal. And their commercial truck center is currently undergoing big changes, which means bigger and better things for you coming soon. Stop by today. Check out every vehicle they have on the lot and all the electric vehicles they've got. The Mustang Mach-E, the E-Transit, and that F-150 Lightning. All in stock with more arriving daily. The all-electric F-150 Lightning has you covered with seating up to 5, intelligent backup power, and onboard power for all your tools and gear. And they've got the incentives, the rebates, the federal, the state incentives that can save you up to $7,500 instantly on site. Talk to Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield about your new car, your new truck, or your new electric vehicle. Andy Moore Ford, M-O-H-R. I love Andy. AndyMooreFord.com.
Close your eyes and picture it. The warm sun on your face. The sound of waves lapping against the shore. What if I told you that feeling of summer relaxation could be yours all year round? At Howard Bailey Financial, we specialize in retirement planning that lets you embrace that summer state of mind every day. Imagine knowing that your future is secure. With our expert advisors, we'll craft a personalized retirement plan tailored to your dreams. Whether it's traveling the world or pursuing your passions, we'll ensure that your retirement is as carefree and fulfilling as a relaxing summer afternoon. Embrace a summer state of mind and text SUMMER to 888-494-5004 to download our complimentary retirement toolkit and experience your retirement planning with confidence.
This endorsement was not provided by a client of Howard Bailey. This individual was compensated for this endorsement. For more information, visit howardbailey.com/TSY.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Tomorrow starts at IU Indianapolis. Our students are the engine of Indiana's future, in powerful partnership with the country's leading businesses and organizations. We prepare each student to make impacts that matter right here at home, inspiring bold endeavors and life-changing careers. Bring on tomorrow, IU Indianapolis. Discover how we're powering what's possible at go.iu.edu/tomorrow.
Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit progressive.com. That's progressive.com.
Buying a diamond has changed. There are mined and lab-grown diamonds. Pierce Jewelers carries both. Pierce can educate you and save your hard-earned money. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Addiction. It's hard on those who struggle with it, but those who love the addict need support too. Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide help and hope with Supporting Sobriety. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on WIBC.com.
We need one more stinking like on the YouTube feed to get to 100. Just one more stinking like. That's it. Go to YouTube, WIBC. It's streaming our show. Just one more stinking like, Matt Baer.
You got a hammer looking at eastbound 70 in Meridian, Illinois. That's a crash blocking 2 left lanes, causing stop traffic back to Tibbs Avenue for a 40-minute delay. Crash on the south side, eastbound 465 at I-65. Left lane is closed, causing a slowdown. Inbound 65, stop and go 29th at 2 Meridian Penn. Northeast side, eastbound 465, slow from Keystone Avenue over to I-69. And northbound 69, tied in the right lane from 126 up to Campus Parkway, and that's because of the Sammy Hagar concert tonight. People trying to exit to Deer Creek. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. It's not too late to get the backyard of your dreams this year. Expand your living space with an Indy Decorative Concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts, big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
All right, we made it. Thank you. 94 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, and it's Beer Sample Friday.
Right now,
Hammer and Nigel present
Beer Sample
Fry. I got some beers. Let's drink them, huh?
Beer's on sale, people. Come down, get you some.
And as always, we're brought to you by Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. They still have free delivery and setup. If you live within 70 miles of their store, ask for Spencer. He's the best. Thompson Furniture and Mattress. Now, Guy, we've got 2 beers here with a theme. Both of these beers are from Wisconsin. The IndyCar Series is back in Wisconsin, the Milwaukee Mile. I love the short track oval racing with the IndyCars.
1 mile course, those are fun.
Oh, they're a blast. What do you got?
I've got River West Stein Amber Lager. This is from the Lakefront Brewery, I believe right there in Milwaukee.
And I've got the traditional Spotted Cow. You guys know how I feel about Spotted Cow. If I'm not drinking, just a poor man's Miller Lite, this is my go-to. I love it when I go to Wisconsin, Milwaukee, and get the Spotted Cow. We are kicking off the weekend. Guy, thank you so much for filling in today, man. Cheers.
Cheers to you, brother. Always fun.
I'm telling you, I'm a cheap date, right? I grew up in Beech Grove, went to school in Muncie, came back to Indy. So I'm normally drinking a Miller Lite or something like that. But if I'm going outside the box, Spotted Cow from Milwaukee, I love it. What about yours?
I'll tell you what, this River West Stein Amber Lager, I see Amber Lager. I think, ooh, that's going to be too heavy for me. This is nice.
I dated Amber Lager in high school, and she was too heavy for me, Guy. Still dated her, though.
She wasn't too heavy for you. This is good. It's got a little citrus flavor to it. I could definitely see sitting outside in the sun and slamming a few of these.
The weekend is underway here in Indianapolis. Labor Day weekend. Come on back. We got another hour to go. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Texted me and go.
Whether you're dropping them off for their first day of school or they're driving themselves for the first time, we know you have enough on your mind. That's why Hubler's got you and your family covered for 100,000 miles. So head back to school in a Hubler Q-certified vehicle, including a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report. Shop any of our 12 locations and choose from Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. Over 2,000 vehicles. All makes, all models, certified vehicles, luxury vehicles, even the hard-to-find ones. Head back to school with peace of mind. knowing Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles.
Hubler's got you covered.
Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations.
Hubler's got you covered.
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Denny Smith for Sundown Gardens and Miss M's Home and Garden.